Good morning, Daybreak watchers. We're going to get going in about 30 seconds here.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Nightlight with Pete and Greg.
Coming up on the show, we discuss data centers with Blaine Halverson, and then Dan Davies discusses his new movie, The Giant Spider Invasion. Join us.
Weekday evenings on the Civic.
Good morning!
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is where Wisconsin wakes up. It's Daybreak with Brian Noonan and Jamie Martinson. Here are your hosts, Brian and Jamie.
6:06 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. No Brian Noonan today. He is out, but instead I am joined by our wonderful senior producer, Frank Gargano. How are you this morning?
I am good. I am tired. I'm not going to lie. Today is a sleepy day for me.
It is a really sleepy day, and I have to say, and by the way, you're going to be joining me throughout the show today for anybody who's joining us. It is rainy this morning in Madison.
Yeah.
It is like walking into a tropical, spot-free rinse at the car wash. That's what it's like walking outside this morning.
Oh, my
because
God.
it's
Just
like,
look at that.
I know. It's just gross.
It's
It's
gross.
super humid. It's one of those mornings where when you walk outside in Wisconsin, Parker and I both wear glasses, they steam right up, and then you're hit by like this mist. That's what it is. It is really gross. We're supposed to expect that type of weather throughout today and then some storms as the week progresses. You know, because eventually we're supposed to lose the heat and humidity, but you have to have some thunderstorms mixed in there to do that.
Are we,
so it's
though?
unfortunate.
As I look at the
we are.
forecast.
Yes. Frank, I was golfing in it last night.
Oh.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Why?
I was trying to golf in it.
What is
You're
wrong
a
with you?
glutton
A
for
lot.
punishment. How did the golf trip go in the gross, humid, rainy, misty type weather?
We played 2 holes, not very well, and then we went and stood under a shelter, and then we went home.
Oh,
Let me ask you something.
Yeah, that's how that went.
wow.
As somebody who also goes golfing, did you not look at what the weather was going to be?
We were like, we'll
You just
probably
didn't
get
care.
at least. We're trying to go every Monday with
Who's
some
we?
my dad, my uncle, and
Okay.
cousin, and other uncle.
Oh, so this is becoming like a
Okay.
family
This is
event.
becoming a family. Yeah, and we
Okay.
all have already golfed.
Okay.
But yeah, we're trying to. And
All right, I have a follow-up.
yes.
Are you paying for the round of golf?
See, advantages to living with your parents, Frank.
He is
Oh, you
not.
get to-
I was going to
no,
say.
he's not. No. Well,
Thank you very much.
that's just it. There are certain parts of your life where it's okay to still use mom and dad's memberships and all of
Oh,
mom
yeah.
and dad's benefits, right?
There's no shade on that.
no.
But it
I
fully
actually-
explains why you're like, sure, put my clubs in the back of the car, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, we played 2, let's go home. If that were me and I'm paying for the
Yes.
round and I get 2 holes in because I didn't check the weather, no.
Hey, they gave us a rain
Furious.
check.
They gave you a rain check. That was nice of
That's
them.
good.
And if they hadn't, well, we had a receipt that was dripping wet. So
Oh,
Well-
yeah. It's hard to disprove that.
yeah. Not the driest day ever.
Well, I mean, it's good that you made it work, and found that shelter. I mean,
True.
there is that. I guess I would pick a different day. Look at the forecast
Yeah,
next time.
I'm going to a
maybe.
softball game tonight. It's-
Oh.
They're giving away rings. They're giving away championship rings.
What kind of ring?
What softball
Like a-
game?
The Nightmares, the Madison Nightmares.
Okay.
We won the championship last year. They're giving away the rings. We're getting replica rings. And
But they're going to be plastic and turn your finger green.
I know, but I don't care. I need a ring, Jamie.
Do you know what I noticed
Well-
about Parker? And I say this in the most endearing way.
Wait. Why does it always start like that? Why is there never just a quick, I love
Because
Parker.
I want you to know
And then
I
just
love
stop.
you.
Yeah, it's just, that Parker guy, he's cool, but
I love you, but you are truly a sicko when it comes to sports. You love it all. Parker doesn't
Right.
discriminate.
No, he does not. It doesn't matter. What are you wearing today? What's on there?
I'm wearing a shirt that's it's a rebrand that the Mallards did. It's the Muskelards. There were different positions. There was like a catching one, a pitching one, and a hitting one. There's
Okay.
also this one, the bench warmer.
All right.
It's a guy on a bench blowing bubble gum.
Everybody's got to be
And
a
that
bench warmer
sums
at
it up.
some point. I can appreciate it. I
Parker
like being a
likes
bench
all
warmer.
sports across all leagues. And
Right.
if there's a
It's true.
special promotion, he's in.
He's
And that I
in.
respect.
Do you have a shelf of memorabilia in your house of all of the things you've collected?
Oh no!
Oh, you
not
should.
myself. You should. I might have pictures in my basement though, because my dad kept old Sports Illustrateds
Oh, okay.
from like 70s and 80s.
Was it the
probably
swimsuit
90s.
model?
No.
Swimsuit edition? Oh, okay. Just wanted to know where we stood there
Not
for
my
a second.
father. No.
I just wanted to know where we stood for a second. Hey, speaking of sports, I think we would be really remiss if we didn't talk about the president at Game 3
Dude.
of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Spurs. Now, first of all, I did not pay attention last night. It was kind of a long night. Who actually won the game?
Spurs won the game, so they
Oh.
took game 3. So the Knicks lead 2-1. It was a crazy atmosphere. You had, I think, every celebrity and their grandmother in attendance.
Sure, it's
You
New
had-
York, so
Well,
that always happens.
Yeah, you had your Chalamets, your Ben Stillers, your
Sure.
Spike Lee.
Your president sleeping in his protective
It was a
little
long
bubble.
wink, Jamie. He can't help it.
Well, here's what I'm
He's
gonna
up
say.
all night.
This is true. There's things happening. Now, what I will say is that I watched some of the coverage of the president arriving at the game. And obviously, New Yorkers were not happy that he showed up at Game 3. He was mercilessly booed as he was pulling up.
Yep.
It was almost like New Yorkers didn't actually appreciate having the president there because they had to arrive hours early.
Gasp.
It
Shock.
forced everyone attending the game to go through tons of extra screenings. They had to cancel all of their free public viewing parties that they had planned for outside Madison Square Garden. Specifically so, President Trump could be there in person, even though over the years he has completely trash-talked the NBA and isn't an actual fan of the sport. Now, when people, this is just a tip for anybody. When people are lining the streets, booing you and waving to you with one finger, that is not some sort of new friendly wave. That is something completely different. What I also find interesting is this president claims that New York really, really loves him. It did not last night. They did
Well,
not love him last night.
I have a
At all.
quote pulled up, Jamie.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
Tell me
When
this
asked
quote,
by a
please.
reporter, he
Okay.
said, "It was, I think, mostly cheers. It was loud and it was very enthusiastic."
It was very enthusiastic, but it was not
Two of those-
mostly cheers.
Two of those things were true.
Two of
yeah,
those
there you
things
go.
were true. I agree, Parker. Two of those
Fact or
things were
fiction?
true.
Yes.
Having having watched the game, it was most definitely enthusiastic. It was most definitely was loud. They were not cheering for you, sir.
They were not cheering for the president.
And I don't
No,
blame them. It's not even, Jamie, this isn't even a matter
it's not
of
about- it's not-
politics.
I was just going to say, you completely disrupted the entire game and made life so much harder for these people who were just trying to attend a basketball game.
Imagine being a lifelong Knicks fan and you finally get to have this moment.
Right.
And it's true, like, it is the apex of tribalism where you all get to go in and watch the game. The place was rocking.
Yes.
But, and you know it's going to be rocking, and then the report comes out, please make sure you arrive at least 2 hours early. I
Right.
mean, New York City was an absolute zoo. I've seen TikToks of people
Yes.
from out of town coming in, walking past, like, people from London. And
Oh, yeah.
I think the caption was like, "What is happening in New York?" And it's like, honey, I don't think you could have come at a more crazy period of time because the Knicks could possibly win the championship and the whole city's going to burn to the ground. But also, everybody hold on, Donald Trump's coming in. So
Right.
let's shut everything down even more.
Right. And here's the thing, too. Moving around New York, if you've ever had the pleasure of visiting, it is not an easy task as it is, right? Like, it's just not. There's always traffic. There's always lines. I personally find it exhilarating. I think it's a lot of fun. I can get how it would be a whole lot annoying if you did it every single day of your life and you just wanted to go enjoy a game. It was absolutely impossible for people to move around last night. And I mean, people were already adjusting their lives just so they could be at this game, right? And potentially see the Knicks take the championship. And then to have to say, there were people that I was watching being interviewed on the news that actually took off work at like 11 a.m., noon, just so they could make sure they had enough time to get from where they needed to be to downtown, to Madison Square Garden, to be there so that they could get into the stadium and get to their seats because they knew how hectic and hard this was going to be for everybody involved.
Yeah, if that were me, I would be messaging you and saying, hey, I'm out.
Right.
I'm taking the day off. I'm not even going to bother. I need to leave now.
But then you could even go to one of the viewing parties because all of those had to be shut down for security purposes, right? I mean, that's just like when the Bucks won the title.
Players were being wanded when they walked into the building.
I mean, that's like when that would have been like when the Bucks won a few years back, right? And they had all of those viewing parties outside Fiserv, and they had that huge screen up, and the area was packed. It would have been like if you were there having that completely canceled and not being able to attend because it's the same concept. It was, I don't know. It was a little ridiculous. I hope the president had a great night with all of his loudly adoring, cheering fans of New York.
Enthusiastic, Jamie.
Enthusiastic.
Mostly cheers.
Mostly cheers. All right. So he acknowledges there was a boo or two in there.
Of course. And I think the thing is, especially for somebody my age, I have heard his name and dealt with Donald Trump.
Yes.
For basically my entire adult life.
Yes.
And this is just another thing where, again, not political, where he's coming in. If I was a New Yorker and it's like, oh my God, can I have one thing without this man being mentioned about the event?
Right. Right. I mean, at some point, it's not always about you. Like, you know, and I mean, that's a good lesson for all of us to learn. It's not always about us as much as we want it to be. But yeah, I don't know. It looked even more chaotic than you would have thought that Madison Square Garden was going to be just based off of the events of the evening and the event itself. It was a big potentially monumental occasion for Knicks fans. And then it had to be overshadowed by crowds and wands and screenings and all sorts of extra things. I know we're going to hit break here in just a moment, but I think we'd also be remiss if we didn't talk about another celebrity who decided they were going to run for office, and then turns out that
is it Spencer Pratt?
It is. It is. If you haven't been keeping up, it turns out that it takes California, because they have a lot of voters, a really long time to count their votes. And Spencer Pratt, who was pretty sure he was going to be in the running for mayor of L.A., turns out, well, he is not. He is not at this moment in time now in the running to be mayor of Los Angeles,
As of
California.
10 hours ago, Nithya Raman was ahead by 22,000 votes, and she's going to advance with Karen Bass to the runoff election.
All right. This is why you let everybody count their votes. It's a good lesson in why you let the process play out. Now, the president hadn't actually endorsed him, but do you think this is a moment where Republicans are going to scream at us about unfair elections and voting and counting
I don't
the
know.
votes? Or are they going to let Spencer Pratt just be a memory?
Do you put that much energy into Spencer Pratt?
I don't know.
think
I hope
so.
not. I hope not. I hope that's not what they do. Coming up here on Daybreak, have you received a tax assessment? Are you worried about your property taxes going up? We're going to take you to class with a civics lesson after this. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Frank Gargano.
It's 6:19. This is Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
I was like, oh man, I got to jump in with my name.
Station. For talking.
Ooh, we get to hear Parker on the phone.
Yeah, if you check out our website, there might be.
Cindy.
I don't know. Green Bay, I have no idea. If you go to civicmedia.us, that information should be for you on there. If you could check that out there, please. So, all right. Yep. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
What's Cindy up to? Oh, he doesn't have his headphones on.
Oh, my mic was on. Nice.
It was. What's Cindy
Cool.
up to?
I have my mic on and not Jamie's. My bad.
It's okay.
Cindy was wondering about why WGBW is on a low power there. She hasn't been able to pick it up in, I believe, Northern Appleton is where she's at.
Yeah, WGBW will be like that for a bit.
John in Oshkosh says, unfortunately, everything is political with him because he is the president. He's the joke that continues to go too far. Impeachment and removal is the only answer. Which, John, I get it. But I'm just saying for this one thing, politics aside, you're being a real pain in the ass.
You're annoyed no matter what.
You're annoying everybody. And that would be the same. I'm from Chicago. If Obama was coming to watch the Bulls and they basically pulled all the watch parties, removed and added extra security, I'd be equally annoyed.
Right. I mean, it's
maybe
it's the
not
same-
fully equally for reasons, but I'd still be really annoyed, especially if I was going to the game, because it's just a pain in the ass. It's unnecessary.
Yes. I mean, it's like even when we lived in the Twin Cities, right? I mean, anytime you had to deal with any of the pomp and circumstance of somebody deciding they were going to come in, it was just like, oh, okay, well, this is great. I'm glad that you can get to where you need to be while the rest of us stand here, right? And it was the same thing with the president. But then add the security, even more security from just even a celebrity,
Have
right?
you ever-
Now you've got the president.
10 seconds toward back.
Oh, shut up, Parker.
Take your seats, kids. It's time for a civics lesson.
It's 6:22 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. We are going to get to a civics lesson in just a moment, but before we do that, I want to remind you that coming up after 7 o'clock this morning, you're going to have a chance to win and qualify for some great prizes with our Text to Win multi-state contest. It is called the Accelerate Your Summer Contest, and remember, we're going to give you another word, and all you have to do is have your Civic Media app ready so that you can text and maybe win $100 for a daily prize and then qualify for the grand prize of $250 in gas and $250 in groceries. So just less than an hour now. So right away this morning, we're going to come out strong. But I wanted to do a civics lesson this morning, Frank. And Frank is joining me. Brian is out today. Frank is going to be my co-host for this morning. But I wanted to do a civics lessons today because I thought it was a little important. And you and I chatted about this a couple of times. Over the last few weeks, I've seen a lot of discussion in community Facebook groups and some of those, Facebook chats about property tax assessments.
Ooh, fun stuff.
I know. It's very exciting right away in the morning. But people were posting pictures of assessment notices, asking whether it meant their property taxes were about to go up. And the question that was being posted in all of these community chats generated hundreds of comments on multiple threads. And property taxes are already a major expense for so many Wisconsin homeowners. So we thought it would be helpful to clear up some of the confusion this morning. If you have recently received an assessment notice in your mailbox, we're going to right now explain what it means, how that's all calculated, and make sure that we ease your mind maybe just a little bit. So every year, many Wisconsin homeowners receive this property tax assessment notice, and it assumes they automatically assume that means a higher assessment or a higher tax bill. The assessment is not your actual tax bill if you received one of these. It is simply an estimate of what your property is worth. Assessors look at factors like recent home sales, the size, the condition of your property, and some of the improvements that maybe you've made, and local housing market trends. Property taxes are based on two things. They are based on your property's assessed value and how much money local governments need to raise through our property taxes. Local governments, school districts, counties, and technical colleges first determine how much money they need to collect, and that is called your tax levy. So if you're in your community, you hear your local officials throw this around, this is what a tax levy is. It is divided among property owners based on each property share of the community's total value. So if you think of it this way, this is the easiest way, because I'm not a math person, I'm not a numbers
Neither
person,
am
so
I.
you start throwing things at me.
I'm following
right?
you. Yeah.
You start throwing things at me, and I've got to make it simple. Your assessment basically determines your slice of the pie, and the tax levy essentially just determines how big that pie is. Okay? So if that makes sense.
Yes.
Now, that's why a higher assessment doesn't automatically mean you're just going to get a higher tax bill. If property values rise throughout the community at about the same rate, your share of your pie essentially may stay relatively unchanged. Property taxes are more likely to increase if your home's value rises faster than similar properties if local governments increase spending, if tax credits and exemptions change. Now, property taxes help pay for services that a lot of us are using every day. Schools, police, fire protection, road maintenance, libraries, parks, all of the things that make our communities unique and special to us.
Right.
Now, if you believe that your property has been assessed incorrectly because you've got one of these letters in the mail and you're like, nope, I don't think this is correct, you can actually review that information with your local assessor, and you can actually go through an appeals process if you feel that that is necessary. Now, understanding how all of this works can actually help homeowners, better understand their tax bill, participate in local budget discussions that affect their community. But it is important to understand how this works and why, if you see a value written on a piece of paper, that doesn't actually mean that your property taxes are going to go up. And I understand in this state, it's always a big discussion because, well, here on Daybreak, we have talked about property taxes many, many, many times. They are the bane of Wisconsin homeowners' existence, and I understand why people would see these letters come in the mail, and they would be frightened that means that their share of their taxes are going to go up. But that does not necessarily mean what is going to happen. Again, I would stress, call your local municipalities and your local assessor if you have questions about your personal statement. Now, you are a renter, as are we currently. This is why it's fun, because as a renter, you don't have to worry about property taxes and levies, except it does change your rent as well, right? Because if your property owner's taxes go up, renters, you are not out of the clear. That also means that, your rent could go up. So it's also important that we understand how these processes work too.
And I feel like with rent, though, I will say this. It doesn't matter if the value goes up. Your rent's going up, at least where I live.
Yes.
And I live in the city of Chicago. And it's my experience that, hey, I got charged more fees, whether that be an HOA fee or this is going up, property tax is going up, so your rent's increasing. Whether that's true or not, who knows half the time.
Ours went up this year by about $100, so it wasn't the worst increase we've ever endured renting. I've got to say, though, I'm at a point in my life where owning your home is awesome. I also kind of like the freedom of being able to rent, right? Like right now we have a clause in ours that if we find something different with 60 days, we can still get out. And if we want,
That's a hell of a lease.
I know, it's a great lease, and we have a landlord who basically lets us take care of the house just like it's our own. So, which we do, and we've we've done a lot to the house since we moved in there. Needed some major cleaning, let me tell you.
Jamie's told me multiple times, it's okay, you're not going to own a home. It's actually pretty fun to rent.
It is okay to rent. Coming up, the question, are you optimistic about the future of America? Is the United States still the greatest country in the world? We want to know what you think. That is coming up next on Daybreak on the Civic Media Network. Alicia, I love when they assess my under 2,000 square foot bungalow home at almost $300,000. I mean, yeah, that's like a median house price
Yeah,
though, in
dude.
this state right now. So that would make sense.
Parker, the American dream,
Yeah, it's
it's changed. I'll say that. It has changed drastically.
Can I afford this 1-bedroom apartment for me and 12 other people? That is
No, I can't.
Dude, Allison and I were watching the Knicks game last night, and she goes, I wish we lived in New York, maybe for just a year. I said, do you? Because I don't. And we almost did. Twice.
Did you really? Okay.
I had 2 very serious conversations with Sirius XM and Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify would have paid me a livable wage. Sirius XM lowballed me big time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
there is no way I'm moving to New York City on this salary.
No, that's a bad part about New York is that you need such a high salary to even consider living there.
Right. It's it's like if you're under 6 figures,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
poor, basically,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
insane to say. I like the Midwest. I'm a Midwest
yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Yes, Alicia, I bought the place for $148,000 in 2019. Yep, that seems.
Making money, Alicia.
Yep. We bought. I think I've talked about this. We bought our house in Minnesota when the market was really soft, right? Like that was during the housing crisis. So then when we turned around and sold that same house that we bought for like $155,000, its value had increased by like over $120,000.
Oh my God.
Because then the market wasn't soft anymore. And now you're dealing with Minneapolis suburban house prices, right?
Right.
But there were people living in our neighborhood that you could tell that they had moved in when the market was really soft. Because there's probably no way, because as the market got higher and things changed, a lot of those people ended up losing their homes and they were foreclosed on. And I think that's just because things started coming up. But yeah. So I'm assuming they got there because the market was, I mean, that's how we got there, is that we would have never been able to live in that neighborhood if the market hadn't been what it was at that time that we bought.
That's what I'm just waiting on. I need a soft market, baby. I need things to come crashing down. But you know what? I'm pretty okay where I'm at. And I get texts from like my friends
who are homeowners,
and it'll be a picture of them remodeling something, and it'll just say, "Don't buy a house."
Yeah, no, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Trust me.
Or it's just pay the workers to do it.
Right.
Ted, if you happen to be watching on the live stream, sorry, I was queuing up the music. And as I picked up the phone, you hung up. My bad.
Who is it, Ted?
Ted,
call back in.
Good morning, Ted. Come call us back.
And if you're asking about JBGBW, it's on low power.
It is on low power. Okay, I got the new dating app story in there.
I can't wait. I have so many questions.
Oh, you find the darndest things.
Oh, I love just roaming the interwebs.
Yeah, it's scary.
It really is a scary place.
Yeah. But every now and then, you see a guy eating a chicken nugget on a roller coaster, and you think this is what
You
the
know-
internet's for.
How many times have you watched that since yesterday?
Only the one.
And I would not blame you if you'd watched it more.
I thought about watching it again.
As you should. As you should. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Uh, 10 seconds.
From Lake Superior to Lake Michigan, this is Wisconsin's Morning Conversation. Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
6:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We always appreciate it. No Brian Noonan today. He is out. Instead, I am joined by our producer, Frank Gargano. Good morning. How are you today?
I am doing great. We are now awake. We are live. We are inspired. And Jamie, we're coming out hitting with the hard-hitting question today. Do you think the United States is still the greatest country in the world? Please explain why or why not. 855-752-CIVIC, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Get in on the conversation. Call in, text us. Do you think the United States is still the greatest country in the world?
Now, we're asking this for a specific reason this morning, right? Because the United States is approaching its 250th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And a new poll finds that Americans are taking a hard look at where the country currently stands today. And a lot of people are currently saying that they're concerned about politics, democracy, and whether hard work still leads to success. A lot of others remain optimistic about the future and proud of what America represents. So, yes, where do you stand on this question? This is an AP poll that came out just over the weekend, yesterday, within the last couple of days, though. And a lot of Americans in that poll said they are less likely to view the country as exceptional and are expressing concerns about the future of democracy and economic opportunity. Chad is chiming in over on our YouTube chat this morning, Frank. He says, no, we are not the best in a lot of categories. He's not alone in this assessment when you look at this particular AP poll. The poll also finds that a lot of Americans remain proud of their country, but are very concerned right now about the future. And I think at this current conjecture, when you look at what is happening in the country, when you watch the news every day, I think that is a legitimate concern for a lot of people. And I find this poll fascinating because, and we'll get into the results in a minute, but young people tend to be the ones who are most concerned right now. And,
wow, I'm shocked.
Right.
Approve.
Yeah, as the young people. When you say young people, do you mean Gen Z, like Parker's age? Are you thinking more
we're talking
younger millennial?
It says younger adults as far as this survey. They didn't break it down into categories, but they say younger adults. So I'm going to say usually that is the 18, 19 to about the 29 to 30-year-old category is usually how they break that down.
Well, we have one of those on the show, Parker.
Well, we have two
I guess
of you, right?
I'm teetering.
You're teetering,
right there.
but you guys are much younger than I am. So, Parker, are you worried about the future of the country?
No, not at all. Not
Sunshines and rainbows, baby.
Peachy keen. No, yeah, it's a little worrying. You kind of see what's going on in the political scape, and everything is just so divisive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so hard.
Right, it is. No, you're right. I mean, even for somebody my age who's 47, who remembers a time and worked in a time in politics when, you know, even if you were a Democrat, even if you were a Republican, I remember being on the Hill, right, working in those offices, and those individuals, those senators from both parties would go into these knockout, drag-out fights in the offices, and you'd hear yelling, and you'd hear the fists on the desk, and then the door would swing open, and they'd be patting each other on the back, and they'd be like, "All right, we still got some work to do. Dinner tonight? Are you bringing the wife?" I mean, that was the conversation. It wasn't divisive. It was literally, we all have ideas. We need to come together to make sure that all ideas are heard. So we're doing what's best. Now, obviously, they always wanted to do what was best for their party. But there was much more compromise. There was much more bipartisanship.
Right.
Now, you are not as young as Parker, not as old as I am. You are in your early 30s. What is your take? You and your lovely wife, as we like to call around here, Mrs. Frank, but we won't let her hear us say that.
You know, it's funny that we jump into this right after the property tax thing. And the whole point during the civics lesson, I'm like, man, I really have no life experience in this realm with property taxes.
Right.
because I'm not a
Right.
homeowner, and I turned 32 today, so I still
Is your birthday
don't.
today?
It
I
is.
forgot to tell you happy birthday. I
How
knew
did
it was
we
today.
not know this?
It's
This
on
is
the
a-
calendar,
This
actually.
is
There's
a
stuff
much
going
bigger story.
on. To be fair,
It's also my dad's birthday.
we've got a lot going on.
There is, but how? Okay, well, you're coming to town tomorrow,
I
so
am.
we will have to
We'll
celebrate on a belated.
we'll celebrate.
Okay.
We'll do things.
All right.
But as I'm sitting here hearing about property taxes, I'm like, I have no skin in the game, to be honest. Sure, my rent may increase, but I'm not
Right.
fully invested in it because I'm not a homeowner. And
Yeah.
if you said, I think when my parents were starting to get married in the 80s, and it's like, wow, you don't own a home yet and you're 32? As a married couple, that'd be insane, I feel like, because there were starter homes. There were ways to move up. I mean, now, let me ask you this. Is a country's great business model to sink young people into debt if they want to go be educated?
Yes,
Because
I mean,
I'm dealing with that too.
that seems to be. I mean, and I'll be honest. Even at 47, I mean, it was no better for me going to college, and I went to a small liberal arts school. Right, I had different choices, but this is the particular school I chose, and I was way into debt. I had to forbear loans for years simply because I was a stay-at-home mom for a really long time. We didn't have the income to pay back my $385 a month that they wanted from me every time, we came to the end of a forbearance. The question this morning, based off a new poll, do you think the United States is still the greatest country in the world? Why or why not? We would love to hear from you. 1-855-752-4842. That's 1-855-75-CIVIC. Now, as we're talking about this, the survey found that we are not alone, right, in our worries about this country. Cost of living, housing affordability, economic opportunity, political division, trust in government, all some of the biggest concerns that crossed the age gaps and crossed the political parties. In fact, a lot of people who participated in this AP poll think that it's actually, at this moment in time, harder to get ahead financially than it was, just as you were saying, Frank, for your parents or your grandparents.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you another question. When your parents bought their starter home, how long were they in that starter home? That's the other question. Do you know?
That's a really good question. I
Because
think until I was 6.
So obviously starter homes were much different, right? That's my point, though, because there were a lot of people who bought those starter homes and they became their lifelong homes, or they became like a decades or more home.
Yeah.
And then eventually they moved on. You don't see people being able to do that so much anymore. And I think it's so funny because my two boys, 22 and 19, we'll talk to older relatives and they'll be like, well, by the time I was your age at 22 to our oldest one, we had our first home. Max is like, are you kidding? I'm paying $750 in rent for 250 square feet.
Right.
Like, what?
Congratulations. What do you want me to say?
Right. He's like, there's no way that
You threw a realtor 2 nickels and were able to get some property.
Right. It's not the same. Now, younger adults were especially likely to say buying a home, starting a family, building their savings, and achieving financial stability are much more difficult than they feel like it probably was in the previous generations. Now, older Americans who participated in this survey were more likely to say that the American dream is still achievable through hard work and determination.
You mean pick yourself up by your bootstraps?
Yes, pick yourself up
is
by your bootstraps,
exactly
Parker. But that isn't, I don't think that's possible.
I think the American dream has changed, and it's a question. I remember being in high school doing like U.S. history and all that stuff. And I remember over the summer having to write an essay coming into the semester. What is the American dream? And everybody kind of had the same response. And that was back in 2011. And it was the white picket fence. It was the yard. It was all that good stuff. And I don't think that's what the American dream is today. I think it's drastically changed.
I mean, if I had to guess what even for like our age group, for the American dream, is it so much to say that people just want to get by?
Yes.
I mean, that sounds so sad when you say it out loud, but I think for a lot of us, it is literally, I just want to be able to pay my bills. I just want a place to live. And I just want to make sure that I can have food on the table and maybe, just maybe, go out and do some things that let me enjoy life. Is that what our dream is?
There's a term that was thrown around a lot in my adulthood: unprecedented times. Do you know what the American dream is to me? I want more precedented times. There's too many unprecedented things that happen. I don't want to hear Aaron Parnas every day on my wife's phone say, "We have breaking news. The president did this," or "This was shut down," or "They're moving to do this," and "The Supreme Court has blocked this." And it's just constant. And maybe I was just younger before and didn't pay much attention. But I feel like more life-changing events are happening nowadays.
At one point in time, we used to just wake up every day and not think about the government. We just knew that as we were going about we used to just know that waking up, we went about our lives and the government was just working in the background. We never had to worry about constitutional rights being stripped away, just skirting the Constitution, the Supreme Court rolling back rights. We never had to worry about those things. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the world was perfect and we didn't have issues. We always had issues, but you trusted that the government was just working in the background to make sure that life was continuing the way we needed it to. And I don't know. I mean, we've gotten so far off of that over the last decade, 10 to 12 years, that it's really hard to imagine life before that, right? Like it truly is. Now, this poll showed a huge divide between the younger and the older Americans. In fact, younger adults were much more likely to say that other countries offer more opportunities and better opportunities and also a higher quality of life than we currently have here in the United States. And we also remain divided over what defines this country's identity, including the role of immigration, diversity, and shared values. More than half of the people who responded say that welcoming people from different backgrounds remains an important part of being American. We're a melting pot in this country. While a similar number say shared values and culture are important to the nation's identity. Now, despite the differences, Americans across the political spectrum, because let's be realistic, Democrats and independents think one way, Republicans think another way. Republicans think that the world is much better now than it was even 5 years ago. But despite all of the differences across political spectrums, the one thing that was shared in this particular poll was a commitment to freedom, democracy, and opportunity as important parts of the nation's identity, which still tells me that even through the political divides, our overall goals are still the same, even if we don't agree on how we get there.
Yes. Here's my thing, though, with the overall question: are we still the greatest? There are many countries that also feel that way nowadays. Right. 2026 is a much different period of time. Yeah. Go and travel other places. Go places in Europe, and come back and be like, all right, maybe other places have it pretty well too. That's my only argument here. I think we can be the greatest. I still wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Right. Honestly, we have a lot of work to do.
We have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
Coming up, Major League Baseball team playing home games in one city while waiting for a stadium in another. That's what the Brewers are doing this week. We're going to talk about that next. It's 6:48 right now, Daybreak on the Civic Media Network. No, this is a great question from Jim. He says, this chair today. This question, he says, the question isn't, are we the greatest country, but are Gen Zers better off than Gen X? Economics, climate, and social.
That's a big no.
No.
Yeah.
How about no?
How about no? I love the question, Jim, but it is a big fat
hard no. The one thing I would say about that is, I would honestly say even for my generation, I don't know if we're better off either, because we're at a point where if we have kids, we're still supporting said kids in most cases because they don't have many options. Depending on where life is taking you, doesn't mean that you've socked away tons in savings it's a conversation we have all the time. We're like, someday we might have to retire. Like, what do you Do people actually, even in our generation at 47, have the money to actually start thinking about those things? Right? You see people past retirement age already who are still working because they have to. I think the question is across the board for all generations. I think it just depends on what your age is and what is most important to you at this moment in time. I don't think any generation currently is better off. I would definitely say our seniors aren't.
I'd say you don't think the boomers had it pretty good?
They may have, but there's also a lot of boomers now who were relegated to a fixed income.
True.
Who can't make it on their
I would
fixed
agree
income.
with that.
Some of them are, yes. I will admit that some of them are fine, but there are a lot of them that also aren't. So I don't know. It's just all screwed up all the way around.
Anytime the greatest country in the world thing comes up, I think of that clip.
The Jeff Daniels clip.
Yeah. What the hell you're talking about? Yosemite?
Hey, it quit raining.
It did.
Yay.
Let's see that street cam. Oh, it still looks lovely.
It's wet,
Yeah.
but it's not raining right now. Oh no, it was disgusting coming in this morning.
It was thick.
I was like, it is literally like being in the spot-free rinse cycle of a car wash.
Oh, you must. Okay, I left before it started raining.
Oh no, I caught It started out as a nice, like, soft, gentle sprinkle. And then I was like, if this was foamy, I could get a car wash. This is neat.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I got some bird poop in my car I'd like to get rid of.
Yeah, right?
I'm not going to pay for it.
Parker, make sure you got your rain boots for tomorrow night.
Yeah? Frank, you bringing your gloves?
No, we're hitting the town.
Ooh.
That works too. 10 seconds.
Now back to more of Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. If you're in Madison, listening on WMDX, or in Appleton and Oshkosh on WISS, in La Crosse on WLCX, we are glad that you decided to join us. My name is Jamie Martinson, and you are not Brian Noonan.
I am
out
not.
Today.
he is out. I'm filling in just for today.
Just for today.
Real quick. Parker opened up the show talking about how he went golfing yesterday.
Yes.
And got rained out
rain.
basically after 2 holes.
Yes.
This guy just asks me over break, are you bringing your clubs tomorrow?
What is
Sir,
this to be worse,
we
Parker?
literally had Mace Michaels on yesterday to talk about the awful storms we're getting, and you're asking me if I'm bringing my clubs up? Did you learn nothing from yesterday?
Do you know how lightning works? I don't know if you want to be in the middle of a field with trees and a
look,
metal club.
We're going to be out there, and you're going to hear, "Woo!" The sirens are going to be going off. I'm going to be looking at him, be like, did you check the weather? And he's going to be like, well, I thought, you're up. You're not up many times. I figured we'd play. As we're running for shelter, and I'm at the age where I don't run for anything anymore.
No. Unless there's a donut involved or a piece of chocolate cake, I'm not running for anything.
Not running.
That can be arranged. That can be
honest.
arranged, Frank.
He's going to lure me with a donut on a stick, the fishing pole.
Fishing pole.
I'll stick it on the end of my driver. How
There
about
you
that?
go. There you
Come
go.
here, fatty. Let's go play. Quick 9. Come on, in and out.
Come on.
Let's go.
You got a par 3 right here. Come on.
Come
let's
on.
go.
Meanwhile, the sirens are going off. There's, rain.
There's
It'll
cows
be
lifting
be
out of the
fine.
fields.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Speaking of sports, this is not golf related, but it is Brewers related. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but they're on the road right now. They have a 3-game series against the Athletics that they started yesterday in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I saw Jacob Mizorowski almost killed a guy.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even though the Athletics, this is interesting because even though that they're moving to Las Vegas permanently, their new stadium is still under construction. It won't be ready until 2028, about the time the Hammond Bears are also playing.
You know
in the
what?
new stadium.
Here, I'm going to give you a hot take real quick as we're taking shots as the Chicago Bears, which
Okay.
I'm all
All
in
right.
on.
All right.
I'd much rather be the Bears than the Athletics.
This is true.
The Athletics are truly the dumpster fire of all major sports.
They really, really are. Now, the team has spent most of the season playing home games at a AAA ballpark located in Sacramento. This week's series is a preview, though, of their future in Las Vegas. The games are being played at Las Vegas Ballpark. This is home of the
Great
AAA
name.
Las Vegas Aviators. And yesterday's game was the first regular season Major League Baseball game played in Las Vegas since 1996. The Athletics will play 6 games in Vegas this season before returning to Sacramento for the rest of their home schedule. The temporary arrangement means that the Athletics are effectively splitting home games between 2 cities more than 550 miles apart. And that's just an easy travel schedule. Just easy. Like, what's it like when you have to play a home game that feels like an away game, but further than an away game? I don't understand.
It's funny because I'm picturing like the University of Kansas. Their football stadium has been getting renovated for the last couple of years. They're doing it in phases, and they've had to play games in a couple of different places. Like they played
Sure.
where the Chiefs play. That's
Okay.
at least close.
It's right. It's like within the same vicinity at
Yeah.
least. You know, it's maybe
Right.
It's maybe a bus trip.
Yeah, that's not a whole.
It's not 550 miles.
Yeah.
So the team has this new stadium coming to the Las Vegas Strip. It is going to cost $2 billion. They plan to open it in a couple of years. It will feature a retractable roof to help deal with the heat of Las Vegas.
For the Athletics?
For the desert. And temperatures in Las Vegas this week, by the way, if you're worried about what's happening here, think about the poor Brewers. 100 degrees during the day is what the temperature will be like. So imagine having to do that regularly throughout a season if you're the Athletics. That just seems miserable. Even though the games are scheduled for the evening, we're still talking probably 90 to 95 when the first pitch, which it sounds really not fun to me.
Gross.
The Brewers are coming off that series we know in Denver. They're going to play 6 straight road games at higher elevations than normal because Vegas also sits at about 2,200 feet above sea level. Not as extreme, obviously, as Denver, but obviously that's going to affect the pitcher. So hopefully Pat Murphy's doing what he needs to. Yes, Parker, you're doing some research over there.
Okay, so I went to bed last night in like the 3rd inning.
Yes.
And it was already like
Didn't that game go into like
7-4.
it
So
went on for forever, right?
I got the final. It was at 1:20 is when I got that notification. 15-14, the Brewers won.
Wow. Holy
Good
buckets.
God.
Now,
The ball was flying. I saw a couple of absolutely bombs for homers.
Heat, the
Yeah,
elevation,
exactly.
you
Yeah.
got to think that is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, you mentioned the Athletics, Frank. They're hovering near the bottom of the standings. So all of this talk for the Athletics, who are right around 500 and are still in the race, though, for the American League West, believe it or not.
And nobody's going to be there to see it. Congrats.
I'm
There
sorry.
it is.
If I am talking about a team who has 100-degree games, no. I don't care if the roof retracts or not. No, that's just too much.
Well, and it's the Athletics. Who's
Right.
a fan of them anymore?
I remember going a couple years to the Brewers towards the end of their season when it was one of those 100-degree days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that wasn't even fun. And that was only once in Wisconsin. The heat, dry heat, not the humidity kind of thing. We'll get into the
right.
old people discussion.
Miller Park sucks though when it's really hot and the roof is closed.
It is.
It
It's
is.
like
Really?
a terrarium in
Yeah,
there.
it
It's like
is
a terrarium.
really hot in there.
Oh, it's
It's
awful.
not air conditioned?
No. I mean, you get rained on when you're inside at Miller Park.
This is also true.
Yeah, that's true.
We won't talk about that, though. Coming up, we are going to jump into all of the stuff you need to know, plus a dating app for unvaccinated singles getting some attention. We're going to talk about that next. We're listening to Daybreak. I'm Jamie Martinson. He is Frank Gargano. This is the Civic Media Network.
And don't forget, we have the keyword coming up.
Yes.
I'm going to go get coffee. I'll be right
Please
back.
do.
He waited to 7 o'clock. Wow. I
He
didn't think
did.
would.
Well, I'm like making him be part of the show.
Well, that's
Lynn from Golden Valley. Caddyshack, the best game ever. Yes.
yes.
Oh, goodness.
I can't believe the Brewers won that game.
Yeah, 14-15. That is insane. The game went like crazy long, and then the score was crazy.
Yeah. I wonder.
Wasn't that a walk? Didn't Contreras get like a walk-off or something too? I don't know.
Well, on the road, so it couldn't have been a walk-off, but it might have been the last. Yeah.
It was like the last,
Yeah. Let me see.
I'm
God, it went 12 innings.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it was like a 12.
Oh,
That's why I said, didn't it go crazy long? Because the score was wild, but I thought it went on for forever,
okay.
too.
I knew that, well, they started at like 9 o'clock because West Coast, or not Coast, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of insane.
Good God. They went through the order like 7 times.
Right. All I saw was like things pop up on this morning I didn't have time to actually like dive into what happened.
Yeah.
But I saw enough come up on my news feed today that I was like,
sure.
Score was crazy. And Pat Murphy talked about the length of the game.
Yeah.
And then that was about all I was able to muster before I had to get ready to go.
Yeah. I slept like 40 minutes past my alarm. So I didn't get my usual Twitter scrolling.
Well, is that doom scrolling or just Twitter scrolling in general?
Just Twitter scrolling.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's safe.
I take the approach with Twitter of I stay in my following page, the stuff I follow, and I usually don't look at anything else.
Yeah.
Because if I look at other things, then I get sad. And that's not much of an exaggeration.
Well, it's very depressing to look at the news.
Yeah. I have been happy, though. Some Star Wars stuff has started to leak in there, and that makes me much happier.
Have you seen the new movie?
I have not. No. I don't know what to think of it, so I don't think I'm going to put the money into it, and I'm going to wait for it to go streaming. That's what I've heard, too.
I've heard some people who really, really love it, or maybe they were just movie deprived and really needed something new to see because it wasn't a reboot, thank God. And then I've heard other people who are like, please don't waste your time on this.
Yeah. So, my guess is that it's a fun individual movie.
Probably.
But if you're like a diehard Star Wars fan,
you're probably going to hate it.
Expansively, you're going to hate it, yeah.
So diehard for you?
Yeah, pretty hard. Yeah.
Okay.
I've watched, I think, all of them.
Oh.
Well, all of the movies for sure, minus the new one. And I've watched like the TV shows, most of the TV shows.
I will be honest, that's the only reason because Corey is a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, okay.
So, that's the only reason we keep our Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
Because then he can go watch Star Wars whenever he needs a break and just really wants to watch a movie.
Yeah, fair.
That's the only reason. We don't watch anything else on Disney Plus. Ever.
You don't watch Robin Hood?
I do not.
Oh, I love Robin Hood.
He also loves Paramount. I believe it's Paramount because they have all the Star Trek episodes from like the beginning of time.
Okay.
I think it's Paramount.
There's I don't remember what the Pluto TV.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you have Roku.
I love Pluto.
There's got to be a station.
I'm sure.
That's just Star Trek.
I also love Tubi TV.
Tubi, yeah.
Yeah,
They've
Tubi's
got good
great.
stuff on there too.
I do. Right now, my favorite obsession is Who's the Boss reruns when I just need mindless TV because I'm old.
Yeah.
And then I also have been watching the Connors as, like the reboot of Roseanne minus Roseanne after she, was an awful human. So it's fine. So that's like that's like literally when I turn it on because I'm sitting down for like 20 minutes or so, and I just need something mindless that I don't have to think about or get too entrenched in.
Yeah.
What do you watch?
Just mindless, like stupid TV off Roku TV or like Tubi TV, like the channels that are like all Who's the Boss or all family ties, or right now it's the Connors because I need, something different that's not from the 80s.
You just throw it on and like do one of these.
Yeah.
Get captivated for a couple
Yes.
seconds, then go back to working.
Yes. Or if it's one of those things where I don't even, I'm just sitting down for 15, 20 minutes to grab something to eat, I'll turn it on because I'm not going to get so engrossed in it that I won't get up, right? It's easy to be engrossed and then be like, oh, I'll just watch another, whatever. I don't care that much. Or it becomes background noise.
No. Frank, did you see Mandalorian and Grogu?
I did not. Did you? Was it good?
No. That's what we started talking about.
We were talking about that because I've heard very mixed reactions to it.
And here's my issue. You can't take any of those reactions to it to heart.
Right.
Because who knows? Because there's so many just, how do I explain it? Just
Wackos.
miserable, whack
Right.
job Star Wars fans that will never be happy unless Mark Hamill turns back to being
Right.
in his 20s and Harrison Ford, and they just basically remake the first trilogy.
Do you want to do any of these headlines, or do you want me to hit them all?
Go
So you
for
can
it.
eat. Okay.
We got 10 seconds.
Wisconsin wakes up here. Back to Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
7:06 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. My name is Jamie Martinson. You are not Brian Noonan this
I
morning.
am not. But I am going to do my best to fill in. I can't
are.
do any of the sound effects, but I can damn well try.
That's right. We are persevering here this morning. Now, in a moment, we're going to get to all the stuff you need to know. But before that, it is time. It is officially time. If you don't have your Civic Media app ready, this is your opportunity because it is your chance to qualify for cash and prizes with our Accelerate Your Summer Text to Win multi-state contest. Your chance to win $100 as a daily prize and a Wisconsin Dells prize package. Plus, every time you enter, it puts you into the running for $250 in gas and another $250 in groceries. But you have to enter using the Civic Media app. And if you haven't gotten that already, I don't know what you're waiting for. You have plenty of opportunity to do so. We're going to give this word out in just a moment. You have until 8 o'clock to enter, and then you're going to have multiple chances to still enter today, tomorrow, and Friday as well. So without further ado, because everybody's like, shut up by now. I just want the word.
Just give me the word. Come on, lady.
The word.
Where's the word?
That's right. Light is your word today. Light. Light is your word. Did I give that yesterday?
That was
There it
yesterday's.
is.
It
All
is
right,
wheel.
never mind.
It
never
is
mind.
wheel. I was going to
It
say.
is wheel. Thank
Wheel,
you. Thank
listener.
you. Oh my God.
You know,
This
I
is what-
usually here. Let me peel back the curtain. I usually
Wheel.
don't question Jamie very
I
often
know, please
she's
do.
usually right.
I have it written right later in the hour, not on this particular one. So wheel is your word of the hour. Good gravy. WHEEL. Wheel. WHEEL is the word that you need to text us right now. That is the correct and accurate word that will get you qualified for all of the cash and prizes. Wheel is your word this hour. WHEEL. You know what this means? It means we've been doing a lot of words for a very long time.
We have.
But you guys are great. You are getting the word in. The word is wheel, WHEEL, because we had some people who listened to me the first time around when I was wrong, and I want to make sure that you qualify correctly. Wheel, again, is your word.
We'll make sure we have plenty
WHEEL.
of mentions
That's where we
throughout
go.
the hour.
There we go. There we go. All right. With that taken care of, it is time for some stuff you need to know.
It's a wake-up call in more ways than one. Time for some you need to know.
At one point, I just wish we could say it.
Why not now?
We maybe.
Why
Are you
not?
ready
Why
on the
not?
top button?
What are you gonna do?
Maybe. That's right. All right. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but this is pretty cool. There's a new bronze statue sculpture honoring Ho-Chunk healer Betsy Thunder that's been installed in Riverside Park in La Crosse. Now, Thunder was known in the late 1800s for treating both Ho-Chunk residents and white settlers in the region. This sculpture replaces the former Hiawatha statue, which was removed in 2020 after criticism that it inaccurately represented Native Americans and reinforce stereotypes. Ho-Chunk leaders say the new statue provides a more accurate representation of the tribe's history and presence in the La Crosse area. This sculpture was created by Deborah Fabian using historical photographs and historically accurate clothing and details. The new Ho-Chunk garden will feature native plants used for traditional medicine and is also intended to highlight themes of healing, community, and cultural understanding. Organizers say this project is about more than honoring one individual. They hope that it also recognizes the continuing presence and contributions of the Ho-Chunk people in western Wisconsin. This garden is scheduled to be officially dedicated on July 30th. And when I was looking at this story yesterday, I was looking at some of the photos, not only of the statue, but of the garden itself. Beautiful, beautiful place. So this is going to be very exciting. I love La Crosse. La Crosse is one of my favorite areas to visit. If you've never taken a drive down the interstate, there's this moment where when you come through one of the curves, it's all of the bluffs, all of the trees, and it is one of the most picturesque places ever. So I love being able to visit La Crosse. So put that on your list if you're going to be in the area. More headlines in Stuff You Need to Know. Milwaukee officials are going to hold a public hearing on June 24th to discuss the possibility of converting We Energies from an investor-owned utility to a publicly owned utility. The hearing will include presentations on Wisconsin law governing utilities, information about public power systems, and an opportunity for public comment. Supporters say that public ownership could give local residents and elected officials more control over energy decisions and rates. We Energies says that its current model provides reliable service, competitive rates, and resources that would be difficult for a city-run utility to match. No decision is going to be made at this hearing. It's expected to start a broader discussion, though, about whether public ownership is a viable option for Milwaukee. And then, without further ado, in Stuff You Need to Know, Amtrak is expected to release a final plan this month for expanding Hiawatha passenger rail service from Milwaukee to Madison with stops in Pewaukee and Watertown. This proposal would extend two existing daily Hiawatha round trips that currently run between Chicago and Milwaukee. Amtrak estimates the extension could attract about 260,000 additional riders each year and views it as one of the most promising passenger rail expansions in the country. If funding and environmental approvals move forward, service could begin as early as 2029. This project is expected to cost between $215 million and $275 million, with federal grants potentially covering up to 80% of those construction costs. Supporters say that the line would improve travel options between Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago while creating jobs and generating an estimated $46 million in annual economic impact. Proposed station locations include Pewaukee, Watertown, and also a temporary station in downtown Madison. The expansion would serve as the first step in a broader vision of extending passenger rail service farther west into Wisconsin in the future. I mean, if you can't get excited about this, I don't know what you could get excited about, because this opens up so many options to commuters. If you want to come into the state just for a day.
This would be great for me.
Right? You'd be able to come up here and, check out, Madison for a couple of days from Chicago. I think this is great. I love that there's federal grants that are going to be an option for this as well. So I am very excited to see the progress for this.
And, we talked about travel briefly in one of our last segments. And the one thing you notice when you go to other countries is how accessible everything is by public transportation.
Yeah.
Which is why everybody gets to travel to different neighboring countries, because you can just hop on a train and get there within a few hours. I wish I could hop on a train tomorrow morning and get to Madison.
Yes.
Easy peasy.
I mean, that's the one thing. We do have Amtrak service in this state, but it doesn't, it's not the commuter type, right? It's literally you have to be going on a trip. It's a little bit more of an investment when you do an Amtrak trip right now in Wisconsin. So I'm excited to see the progress on this. I mean, really, honestly, I know a lot of people think, 2029, it's not that far away.
No, it really isn't. It's coming up quick.
Really isn't.
Blink your eyes. It'll be here.
It will. Absolutely. All right. So we have the big story of the hour, though. And I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this one because dating apps, if you've ever been somebody who's used one of those, it's can help people find, others with shared interests. I mean, there's really dating apps right now for anybody. Music lovers, sports, religion, hobbies, pet lovers.
Parker, are you on the apps?
Don't worry about it.
I'm only asking so I could get your phone tomorrow and I can just play on them. Just do power swipe. Everybody and anybody.
You can match him with some people.
Just,
you can set him up. It'll be great. It'll be great. I think we need a camera then to follow you on the first date, like inconspicuously.
We can set that up.
We can make that happen.
Give me the meta glasses.
All right, we can make that
Forget
happen.
that. I'll just put on a horrible fake mustache and a disguise and follow him around.
We'll send cameras with you. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
We'll make sure it happens.
Oh, good.
The question is, though, when it comes to dating apps, what happens when your views on vaccines become one of the most important factors in finding a new partner? There is a growing number of niche dating apps that are connecting people based on their vaccination status and views on public health. Organizers say it's about shared values and personal freedoms. Now, an anti-vaccination dating app called Unjected, that's the name, which you have to love. It is. It's actually Unjected. Is hosting in-person meetups around the country, bringing together people who oppose COVID-19 vaccines and many other vaccines. The events are part of this 4-city Summer of Love tour. That's what they actually call it. That's designed to help like-minded singles meet potential partners and, build community. Organizers describe this movement as being focused on personal choice, bodily autonomy, and medical freedom rather than just opposition to vaccines. Well, nobody wants to be around you if you're not if you're not vaccinated because we don't want to catch something.
Well, anti-vaxxers do. They want to be around other anti-vaxxers. I find this really interesting because I feel like this is just a rational person will look at this and be like, okay, this is just a foot in the door. Like, we still have to talk about other things in life.
Right.
With the understanding that once we have a child, we're not going to take them to the doctor for their vaccines.
Right. No, this is true. I mean, because if you've dated or you're young enough to remember dating, it feels like it was an eternity ago.
Right.
You know that there's always that one. You have to have commonalities with people. That's just it. Like, we've all been on really good dates. We've all been on really bad dates. And usually the worst dates were the ones where you had absolutely nothing in common with that person. So I feel like this is just that one point where you're like, ooh, we'll latch on to this person because they have this one thing in common with us. Right. And I don't know. It just feels weird, though. It feels like I would have to Lysol myself to, leave the room.
Real quick
really
sidebar.
would. Yes.
Parker, when you're
allegedly
perusing. Are you worried about commonalities?
See, girls look at it differently, right?
Parker's not worried about the commonalities right off the jump.
You're also young. You
I don't
probably
think.
don't
Hold
want
on.
somebody yet.
No. I don't think women are fully. There has to be some sort of physical attraction.
Of course.
Off the
of
rip.
course.
Those apps
Of course.
are built for physical attraction. Yeah,
right.
Those aren't built for.
See, I'm old enough.
Unless you're going to anime.
What about Hinge? Isn't Hinge very prompt based?
I'll get back to you.
Sure.
See, here's
Don't
the
act
thing.
dumb.
We'll research that one.
I am also old enough to remember that when your dating app was literally going to the bar and making sure you hadn't had too much to drink so that everybody looked like they actually looked the next day. Okay? So that's how I remember dating apps. But for this particular dating app, Unjected, attendees have traveled long distances for the event. Some fly in from other states. Others drive hundreds of miles to meet people who share these views. Unjected launched in 2021, and it markets itself as a dating platform specifically for people who choose not to be vaccinated. There are several other niche dating platforms that have emerged in recent years targeting unvaccinated individuals and those skeptical of the vaccine requirements. A lot of experts say that political beliefs, public health views, and personal values have become increasingly important factors in modern dating decisions. And this particular app was briefly removed from major app stores in 2021 over concerns related to COVID-19 misinformation. Later, though, it returned to Apple and Google platforms. So now it's okay. then it wasn't. But now it's fine that it spreads misinformation about vaccines. It's fine.
Who doesn't at this point in time? You know what? I think Swiper Stay coming up next is just going to be all fake stories.
I think that's
But they're real
perfect.
to me. Because,
They
Parker,
are.
it's not a lie if you believe it.
It's not.
It's not. If you truly, truly believe, it is not. And we are going to get into Swiper Stay in just a few moments. Pop culture, celebrity news. I mean, we got it all right here. Daybreak on the Civic Media Network. Okay, so I'm looking at names of other unvaccinated dating sites.
Yeah.
Besides,
There's others?
Hit me with them.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. So besides unjected, there's unjabbed.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Swipe.
There's one called unjuiced.
We're staying on that one.
Ooh, pure blood is another one.
Shut up. That is
my
not
God.
real.
Oh,
That is-
God.
That is
Definitely.
what in the
That
Harry
is-
Potter is going on.
That is a
That's
dating.
got to be a Harry
That is
Potter.
no.
And then I can't pronounce the one that's a Swiss German platform, but it is. Wow.
What are we doing?
What's going on?
Holy buckets.
Wow.
See, this is why it was easier just to drunk date.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hey, can I get your number? We'll see.
One of my buddies one time. Oh, so in Whitewater, there's always all you can drink night, and it's like a plastic
Stop.
cup.
What?
All you can drink night.
All you can. Please explain this to me.
You pay like $12 and you can drink all night.
God, I love
Wow.
Wisconsin.
You love small college towns, is what
Yes.
I really do.
Yeah.
There's nothing better or cheaper.
you love. Let's go hit the town, Frank. We're going to Pumpers, Frank. How do you
Say
feel about
less. Say less. I'm in.
that?
Pumpers.
Pumpers and Mitchell's is the
God,
name.
Allison would
Yeah.
look at my location and be like, "Where the hell are
What
you?"
the
And I'm just gonna
hell?
say heaven. It's all you can
No.
drink night, baby.
That place sucks. He took a girl's cup and he wrote his phone number on it.
And she wiped it off.
Wow.
It was a friend of ours.
He does know that it's like the 2020s, right? Not 1999.
I think he put his LinkedIn on it too.
No.
No.
As a joke, I think he did.
Wow.
Couple seconds.
Let's break out of the bubble and see what's happening out there in pop culture. It's Swiper Stay on Daybreak.
7:22 right now. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Civic Media Network. It is time for Swiper Stay. Hey, we don't have to reintroduce you because you've been with the show.
I know.
Because Brian is out today. Our senior producer, Frank, joining me as co-host today. And, of course, now for Swiper Stay, where we dive into pop culture. We put politics aside for a few minutes. And, we get into the headlines that really matter in our lives.
And real quick, I'm gonna do everybody a solid.
Okay.
The word of the hour is wheel.
Thank you.
WHEEL. You may have heard it was a different word, but it is actually wheel.
That's just because
WHEEL.
I'm an idiot. It was a different word because I'm an idiot. And I forgot to
No,
look at my new
we've got
chart.
lots of tabs and spreadsheets open.
I do. And hey, by the way, before we jump into this, because I just found out about this morning, I don't know how I missed it. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Of course. And happy birthday to Parker's dad.
Your
Yeah.
dad's birthday today, too?
It's also my dad's birthday. Yeah.
What are you doing to celebrate with your dad?
I'm going to a softball game without him.
To get a
You're
ring.
ditching him on his birthday? Wait, are they going to a nice dinner without you?
I have no idea.
Probably.
I bought these tickets like months ago, and
Okay.
I went, "Oh, wait a minute, that's Dad's birthday."
That's not good.
No,
All right.
your mom and dad looked at each other and went, Parker's going to be out of the house. All right,
Let's
book
go.
the steakhouse. Let's go.
Let's
Anyway,
go.
we'll get back to that, the birthday celebrations. But
Yes.
swipers say, here's how it's going to work today. Parker, you're going to get an actual vote.
An actual vote.
All right.
I'm going to read some pop culture headlines. Jamie and Parker will have to decide whether to stay and hear more or swipe on to the next one. In the event of a tie, I'm just going to read the story to fill time. All right. So moving on to story number 1. Nick Reiner makes demands from jail.
I'm going to swipe.
Oh, what kind
It's
of
such a horrific story.
It was, but I'm also really wondering what demands the guy.
He
could
has
have.
demands.
All
Stay.
right, stay. We can stay.
Nick Reiner wants the money that he is owed from the trust his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, set up for him as he awaits the trials for their murders. I'm laughing at the absurdity. It's a horrific story, but I cannot believe that, yes, Nick Reiner is now demanding his inheritance, basically.
That is mind-boggling.
Now,
That-
Jamie, I am not a fancy schmancy lawyer.
Sure.
I'm not well versed in law.
Right?
But I'm just going to
Me
go
neither.
out on a limb and say that if you do, in fact, murder the people that are leaving you money, I don't think you should get the money.
Not to mention the
a hot
fact
take,
that he's
Frank.
probably going
know.
to spend, I'm guessing, a few years in prison for said murders. Alleged. I mean, he's
2-3 years,
confessed.
yeah.
Yes. What is he going to do with the money? Why he's there
He's looking to hire a new lawyer
with the money?
with the money, but he wants his money.
Because the attorney told him that he doesn't have a prayer of getting out. Is that what
Probably.
he wants to do,
Would you
attorney?
take this case?
Right? No. That's just it. It feels. I mean, obviously, it's got to go through the court of laws, but it feels pretty much like we all know what the conclusion is most likely going to be, right?
It's pretty open and shut. I
Yikes.
mean, maybe you need somebody
Yikes.
to plead a good insanity case, but I think that's
Right.
your best bet.
Wow. That's
I feel like asking for the money is helpful
That's-
for the insanity case.
that's
actually.
It's
right.
it's a bold move.
It's a very
It is
bold move.
insane.
It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for
Wow.
him.
God,
Moving
okay.
on, we have a controversial celebrity couple that has called it quits.
Oh, okay. I'll stay.
Yeah, a little drama.
I like
This is-
drama.
This is
It's
more
not
Jamie's
Vrabel, is it?
wheelhouse.
It's not Mike Vrabel, is it?
It is
And
not Mike
Diana
Vrabel.
Rossini? Okay, all right.
And we will talk
All
about
right.
that as soon as there's more updates on that. I
Okay,
hope there
okay.
are. Fingers crossed.
All right.
Sources close to the former couple, Ethan Slater and Ariana Grande, have called it quits allegedly a couple months ago. And the story just
Wow.
broke, and it is confirmed that the two have split up, but they remain friends and are very supportive of one another.
I've lost track of Ari's love life. Was she married to this one?
She was not married to Ethan Slater.
Okay,
Was
but
she
they've been
was she
together for a while.
married or was she engaged?
I don't know. I've lost track. of her
Ethan
love
Slater
life.
was married.
Okay, all
Ethan
right.
Slater was married and had a kid,
I mean,
and then dumped her for Ariana Grande right as they were shooting Wicked.
how did she think this was going to end? I mean, he doesn't have a great track record.
Her?
Right.
How?
I mean,
how did he had a
That's the
wife and kid? How did he think this was gonna end?
the whole thing is, I don't know. I've
This-
lost track of Ariana Grande's love life.
I think she has too, and that's nothing against her. If I
No,
was
I
super
love her.
rich, famous, and attractive and could sing
Sure.
like that, I'd play the field a lot too. The fact of the matter is, if I'm Ethan Slater, buddy, we all looked at this couple, and I don't say this to sound shallow,
Right.
but it just didn't make sense. You didn't have a chance in hell
No.
in saying with this
No.
part. Nobody gave it more than 6 months. They lasted longer than everybody expected.
Good
I
for
think this
them.
was the conclusion everybody did expect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's weird how in normal life people talk about these things. Celebrities, go through significant others as quickly as Ariana Grande, and everybody's like, she's a celebrity. It's fine.
Well, yeah. Look.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah,
The world
I agree
is
with
your oyster
Parker.
when you got that
There
much
you
money.
go. There
Why
you go,
not?
Parker. World is your oyster. I love that.
Real quick, we've got time for one quick story. We have the first movie of the year to reach $1 billion at the box office.
Oh, we'll stay.
Ooh, okay.
I'll stay on this
Yeah.
one.
I like it.
Let me sign in real quick. It just signed me out.
Oh, gorgeous. 40
Literally
seconds
at
left.
this
Wow.
time. How much time we got, Parker?
About 30 seconds.
It is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's the
Oh,
first
really?
movie of the year to reach $1 billion at the box office.
That's
$428.5 million domestically and $571.5 million internationally. The first Mario Brothers movie also hit $1 billion. So Universal is doing very well for themselves. That's Swiper Say. I'm getting the wrap-up signal. We have
You are
more
getting the
on
wrap-up.
Daybreak coming up.
I was driving the other day, and
Dude,
I saw a guy
this
doing
Google
a
Suite
graffiti.
pisses me off.
When it
of,
logs you out.
graffiti art of Mario.
Ooh.
I took a picture of it.
I was going to say everybody loves a guy with a mustache and an accent.
I saw this story and I was like, at first I'm like, really? And I'm a huge Nintendo guy, so like
Sure.
obviously I love it. But I when I look at the numbers and it's like, yeah, international audience, it makes sense.
It does.
Japan probably
especially,
accounted
I
for
was gonna
so
say,
much money.
in Asia. Yeah.
The first Super Mario Brothers movie earned more than $1.3 billion at the box office. Do you know what the highest grossing animated franchise is?
Animated franchise. Gosh.
Well, does this include other than just movies?
Would it be?
Is it a manga?
It is just movies.
Oh, okay.
Would it
Animated
be,
movies.
Oh God.
like Toy Story comes to mind
Yeah.
because there's been 100,000 of them at this point.
Is it Shrek?
Shrek
It is
also
not
comes to mind.
Shrek. It is not Toy Story.
Cars.
Cars would be a good choice.
It is not Cars. And I love Cars.
Cars is
The
great.
first one's great.
The first one is really
Yeah.
good. Gosh, I don't know.
It is the Despicable Me franchise.
Oh, that's right.
They've got like a million movies. I think they have a new movie coming out like every 2 years.
Because
Something
now
like
they
that.
just go straight to like Disney, right?
No, I think they're
No?
all
Oh.
theatrical releases.
Are they really?
Yeah, they've earned
Okay.
over $5.6 billion at the
Huh.
box office.
Me as a mom who doesn't have kids old enough to watch those movies anymore. Like I remember when
You could always watch them.
I used to remember like when I used to have like a list of when all of them were coming out. I'd be like, okay, we're going to the movie. We used to wait. My favorite part is when the kids were little and we could still go to the drive-in and they still didn't complain the whole time.
I've never been to a drive-in movie.
Of course you haven't, Parker.
Come down to McHenry, Illinois.
I'm teasing you.
I know. But I feel like that one's more defensible.
It is defensible.
That is. There aren't many.
No, there aren't.
Yeah.
There's one near Wisconsin Dells.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good one. And then I think there's like a couple. Anybody who's listening on the stream can correct me, but I think there's like a couple on the eastern side of the state. No, drive-ins are like the one near Dell serves the Mama Burger.
I don't know what's on it, but it sounds good.
While you're watching a movie, it's fantastic.
The Mama Burger?
The Mama Burger, yeah.
Say less.
It's like basically like almost like a double smash burger. So it's
Digging
very,
it.
very good. And then you sit outside in the back of your pickup truck or in your lawn chair and you watch.
Dude, I haven't been to the drive-in so long.
But that's the fun part about drive-ins, if you have the right vehicle, right? Like we used to take the boys and then we would open up the back of the crossover And then they'd have their little air mattresses, and they'd have pillows and all of that kind of stuff. And then they would be super comfy, and they would lay back there, and then I'd have like a little snack cooler in between them. And sometimes the dog went with us. So then she'd be in between them as well. So they used to have a good time. It was always fun. And then they were perfectly fine because there would be no bugs around them. So we would sit outside and we'd be like completely eaten up because there'd be tons of bugs.
I hate. There's nothing worse than sitting outside and just getting chewed alive.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I am allergic to mosquito bites. So.
Of course.
What
Of course
aren't
you
you allergic list?
Yeah.
Mosquito bites are really bad. And when I say allergic to, like, if I get like one bite, they get like dollar size, and then they swell way up, and then they get like super hot to the touch. It's really awful.
How do you even sit by like a campfire?
Oh, I don't. And bugs love me. Bugs love. Ask my husband about it sometime. On our honeymoon, he took me to the UP, and obviously beautiful waterfalls, all of this. We're on a drive, and he goes, let's stop at my favorite falls. And I'm like, okay, cool. Gets me out of the car. He looks back, and I'm swarmed with bugs. I was just miserable.
5 seconds.
Want to join in on the conversation? Call or text 855-75-CIVIC. Now back to Brian and Jamie.
7:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson, and you, in fact, Frank, are not Brian Noonan.
I am not.
But you are Frank.
You've probably heard me on this show before. I'm just filling in for the day.
That's right. That's right. And we're glad that you are here. On the stream, we were talking about, drive-in movies based off of Swipe or Stay. And I was telling you guys that I am the worst outdoor person in the summer because bugs love me. Bugs love me. In fact, my husband calls me a human mosquito detector. If I am sitting outside with anybody else, you will not have one bug around you, not one mosquito. They will all be around me. I don't know what it is about me. They love me. And
Jamie, I think you and I need to sit at a campfire and have a who's more miserable.
Are you the same way?
I'm the same way.
Oh,
and you know what? I think it's very much like in my head. Once I feel one, I just feel them everywhere.
Yes,
and then I get told to calm down, and then I get more upset. It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. And then we were talking, I am super allergic to the bites that mosquitoes leave, even if they land on me. All of a sudden, I have this $half size welt, and then it swells way up, and then it gets hot to the touch. It's there for forever. I love to be outside. I love to hike. I am like the DEET queen. Like, I am head to toe, and I might as well use it as an aerosol just around me because it just makes me happy. If you have those issues in the summer, we can relate. We can totally be friends, and we'll keep the bugs away from everybody else at the campfire. That's how it'll go.
Should get you one of those chairs that's got like the screen around it.
Oh, that would be so neat. That would be lovely.
Basically, like my own malaria net.
Yeah,
like the
you could be a bubble boy. Yeah.
That's right, like the bubble boy. All right, so it is the Accelerate Your Summer Text to Win multi-state contest. Your chance to win $100 and a Wisconsin Dells prize package as part of the daily prizes. And of course, every time you enter into this contest, you are put into our grand prize drawing for $250 in gas and another $250 in groceries. And this time around, I know the actual word, so we should have no trouble. The word hour is wheel. WHEEL. Wheel is the word of the hour. You got to use your Civic Media app to get us that word so that you can qualify for all of those cash and prizes. Remember, you have until 8 o'clock, so just about 23 minutes if I can do the math on the fly, because not my strong suit, especially early in the morning. WHEEL is the word for this hour, so please text us that word so you can qualify for the cash and the prizes. You're going to have more opportunities to qualify today, and then, of course, tomorrow and Thursday and Friday as well before we wrap up and give away those grand prizes. All right. With that being said, we know that in this country, elections keep getting harder and harder, and the rules keep changing all the time. And once again, the election rules are at the center of a national debate. It turns out that the Trump administration is pushing new measures involving voter rolls and absentee ballots, while voting rights groups are challenging those in court. And then, of course, there's a little bit of movement on the election front in Wisconsin, too, which we'll get to in just a moment. But the Trump administration says states will be able to access federal citizenship data by the end of June to help identify potential non-citizens on voter rolls. We are back to this discussion.
Here we go.
I mean, the discussion never left, right? That's been the point of basically taking on the election process since the very beginning. And let me be clear. I know I've pointed this out on the show before. I'm going to do it again. Multiple studies have found that voter fraud is extremely rare. There was an analysis done just a year or two ago that says that the voter fraud ranges from anywhere from 0.0003% to 0.0025%. So less than a 1% chance of voter fraud. In fact, the research concluded that somebody in the United States is more likely to be struck by lightning than to commit voter fraud at the polls. That is the facts of
so
voter fraud.
Are you saying that the election in 2020 may not have been rigged?
It may not have been rigged. In fact, I believe that it was analyzed. It was taken through the courts in numerous different states, including here in Wisconsin, and there was no rigging of the election whatsoever. It has gone through the process of being shown that it was a fair outcome to the election. But here we are. We continue to litigate it 6 years later. Now, this effort is part of a March executive order that was aimed at tightening election procedures ahead of the 2026 midterms. Mm-hmm. Homeland Security actually plans to give election officials access to citizenship information from federal databases, including records maintained by immigration, Social Security, and State Department agencies. Well, it turns out in this country, we already have laws that prohibit anybody who is a non-citizen from actually casting a vote. But, if this is what Homeland Security is spending their time on, sure, we'll let them continue to do that. The administration also says that the goal is to prevent non-citizen voting, which studies and election officials generally, as we just pointed out, find to be very, very rare. The order also calls for increased monitoring of mail ballots. And this is where I think most of us should take pause, because federal officials say they want to track absentee ballot data for signs of possible fraud or misuse. Now, there's been voting rights groups, including the League of Women Voters and the NAACP. Mm-hmm. We've talked about some of these lawsuits here on the show that have filed these suits in court, arguing that this executive order exceeds presidential authority and could actually interfere with state-run elections. Now, there are critics out there who say that this particular plan could create confusion for voters and raise concerns about privacy, voter access, and the accuracy of federal citizenship databases. There's also people who support what this administration is doing, say that these changes could improve election security and help states maintain accurate voter registration polls. We talked earlier last week about the U.S. Postal Service, how they've proposed all of these new requirements that would require states to provide voter information before mailing the ballots. They want to get local police involved. I mean, really, at the end of the day, this is exactly what they've always wanted. It's to sow mistrust. It's to keep people from actually casting a vote and making it much harder.
I was going to say, it's not even, I don't even know if it's so much the mistrust that's going to get a lot of people. I think it's just going to become too much of a hassle, especially when we look at people Parker's age, the Gen Zers, when you're first starting to get into voting and you see all of this news come out and, everything's changing and the processes are different and all this stuff. If I'm young, and I was at one point, coming straight out of college, looking at that and be like, hey, are you voting? And be like, no, I don't want to deal with all that.
Which I think is interesting, though, and an interesting way to look at it, because in this past presidential election, when you look at how young people, Parker's age, voted, young females tended to skew more towards Kamala Harris, but it was the young males who actually took a hard swing towards President Trump and cast their vote for President Trump.
Yeah.
So I think that it's fascinating that many times this administration does things that actually spite their own agenda, or that's what it feels like. I'm sure there's some underlying reason. Obviously, the citizenship is part of that underlying reason. Immigration is part of that. They believe telling the world that non-citizens are voting, which is not happening. But at the end of the day, it is essentially things that spite their own agenda, which I always find ironic. That you would try to dissuade people from voting when it's also Republicans who are an older demographic who tend to use mail-in voting, when it's rural voters who also use mail-in voting. So the fact that they're trying to dissuade that is interesting to me. And I'm not sure why you would want to dissuade your own voters from actually heading to the polls or casting a ballot. But
and I think the answer is what you said earlier for the rest of the demographic is so distrust.
Yeah.
As long as you're questioning everything,
right,
you never lose.
Right. And obviously, here we are 6 years later, still litigating the 2020 election.
Still talking about it.
Still talking about it. Well, obviously, there's going to be they're trying to implement these federal changes, which could affect our elections nationwide, and obviously keeping an eye on the 2026 midterms as we quickly approach those. But here in Wisconsin, there are two separate election stories that are also putting the spotlight on voter confidence and how our elections are administered on a local level. Now, these are both fascinating to me because we know that Milwaukee has come under the of this particular president with the central count, how it operates in the state of Wisconsin. And the city has now hired 2 outside legal groups to help respond to all of those election-related issues as the FBI investigates aspects, again, of the 2020 election. Again, litigated, found to be a completely fair election that was done within the rights of the state. Yes.
How much money and time and energy are we wasting on this?
A ton. We have to be. I mean, there is no dollar amount attached to this, but the fact that the city of Milwaukee now has these 2 legal groups who are helping rehash and relitigate something that happened 6 years ago. I mean, this is all going to be at taxpayer expense just so this administration can feel good about the fact that the president lost the 2020 election, because he lost the 2020 election. He lost.
If anybody's in favor of still looking into the 2020 election, please let us know. 855-75-CIVIC. I'm genuinely curious at this point what this does for anybody.
It's interesting because there's some polls that have come out within recent weeks and months that talk about how Republicans there's several Republican voters who still have distrust of the 2020 election, but they are also ready for this administration to move on. So I don't know what this really gains them by continuing to question the results of something that happened almost a decade ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Mark from Prairie du Sac chiming in saying that Wisconsin's very own Ron Johnson was part of that fake elector ballot conversation in an effort to get them to get Mike Pence to basically not words escaping me right now. Basically, getting him to not confirm the election.
To certify it.
Thank you. Words are hard
You're
this
welcome.
morning.
The word is wheel.
Mark says, in my opinion, Ron Johnson knew the insurrection was coming to delay certification, enabling them to replace the real electoral votes. Thank you for the text this morning. But federal agents have actually, in Milwaukee, interviewed several current and former Milwaukee election officials, staff members, and at least 2 Milwaukee police officers at this point. Much of the questioning reportedly centers on Milwaukee's central vote counting operation on election night in 2020. And in fact, investigators have asked about an incident involving a flash drive that was mistakenly left in a voting machine but was later recovered and turned over to authorities. City officials say that outside legal assistance will be provided at no cost to the taxpayer. So that does, in fact, answer your question, Frank. Now, there have been multiple recounts, court rulings, audits, and reviews that confirm in Milwaukee that Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election in Wisconsin. And I know we're running out of time so quickly. In Madison, a former Madison deputy clerk who took responsibility for 23 absentee ballots that arrived late on election night, has been reassigned now to non-election duties. City officials have emphasized that the affected voters followed the rules and that the problems were caused by election administration errors, not the voters, so that person will not be touching the ballots again. So, I guess that's some good news. Got to take accountability even on the local level.
Yeah, for sure.
The question this morning, could you ditch your house and live in an RV full-time, Frank? More Wisconsin residents are doing that. We're going to explain the laws, the costs, and the realities of RV living next on Daybreak. It's 7:48 on the Civic Media Network. I don't know. I certify wouldn't come to me. I was like, it's right there.
Certify. And I'm like, certify. Parker, I need you to do some recon tonight. I need to know what restaurant your parents are going to. Because I'm calling it.
Oh, God.
I'm calling it. Have they asked you? Did they say, hey, what are you doing?
Well, they know.
Oh, so no.
Oh, they knew in advance?
Yeah.
They're just taking it as their opportunity to
They've
go
had
out
reservations.
by themselves. Is your dad a eat out reservations kind of guy?
Not usually.
No.
Really?
What does he like to do for his birthday? What are you doing for your birthday?
I had nice dinner reservations. I canceled them because 2 reasons. One, I didn't know what my plans were going to be.
Sure.
With the trip to Madison. And also, we are all of a sudden going to Disneyland in less than 2 weeks. So we're like, we'll save the money we would have spent on that, and we'll do something more casual tonight. And then we're going to celebrate my birthday dinner probably in July.
Nice. Well, we will find somewhere to eat in Barra, but there's a couple of really great places.
I am so excited. I love being able to come up. I love Madison. I love Wisconsin in general. I'm going to have to stop at, I'm going to need a recommendation for a good cheese, meat market kind of deal.
Oh, we'll go to the one down here.
Perfect, because I love that kind of stuff.
The one right over by the Capitol.
Should I be like a real fib and get I had to get my 6-pack of spotted cow to take over the border?
You, at the one place that I would recommend for meat and cheeses, you can actually get old fashions in a can.
Book it. Done. I'll be having many old-fashioned Wednesday night. See, and I'm excited to get. I love going to local coffee shops. I can't wait to do that on Thursday after the show. I'm excited. I love coming up.
Michelangelo's is good. Downtown, I'm thinking of what's close to downtown. Oh, there's several coffee shops.
Where did we go last time?
Michelangelo's.
Great coffee.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's great. Plus, they make really great iced meals, so that's good.
Really good iced meals?
Yeah, like with the honey, the cinnamon, and all of that in it, in the coffee. It's delicious. It is. It's like my new, I don't drink coffee, but that's like my new thing. I feel like it's what gets me through the day.
Yeah, girl, why do you think I get a coffee at the same time every day? There's nothing better.
Mine varies by time of day.
Right.
I don't do like adult beverages normally, so that's what I feel like is my adult beverage some days. Just give me the 24-ounce, please. Thank you.
There's nothing better.
It's the best.
I can honestly say, hold on, Parker's on the phone. I'm gonna start going into a story. I'm gonna get a 5-second wrap it up. I tell people all the time, like, my favorite thing that I look forward to every week is waking up on a Saturday morning. Yep, there it is.
Local voices, statewide impact. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
7:52 right now. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Civic Media Network. Look at Parker Olson in there. He is a real pro. Talking on the phone, timing
He missed
us
the
out.
countdown, though.
He did.
There was no warning. Where was the I couldn't get a fiver. Nothing.
He's on the phone, so I understand that. So we'll give him a break on that one. But a true pro. We didn't miss the top of the
Good work,
this
Parker.
segment. Very, very nicely done. He's not listening to anything we're saying.
No, he doesn't
Look
care.
at us compliment him. The Accelerate Your Summer Text to Win multi-state contest continues for about the next 7 minutes. It's your chance to qualify for daily prize of $100 and a Wisconsin Dells prize package. Plus, every time you enter into our contest, you are going to put your name into the drawing for the grand prize, which is $250 in gas and another $250 in groceries. We don't even make you choose. You're just going to get the $500. We love that. You got to use your Civic Media app, though, in order to text in and to qualify for all of this. The word this hour for the next 6.5 minutes is wheel, WHEEL. Wheel is the word that you need to text us before 8 o'clock using, again, your Civic Media app. And remember, you're going to have more chances to qualify throughout today and then again tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday before we give away that grand prize. So good luck to you for the rest of these 6 minutes or so. All right, Frank, we've actually talked about this, so I think that this is interesting. Have you ever, what is happening out there? Was there a truck?
I was gonna
there was
say,
a truck. Could you
heard
hear
something.
that?
I did.
There's a big truck going down State Street. He apparently needed to get through. We actually talked about doing this at one point. Have you ever wondered if you could sell your house, buy an RV, and just hit the road full time?
No.
More Wisconsin residents are actually starting to do that, and the number of people living in RVs has more than doubled in recent years. But, of course, before you trade in the front door for a camper door, there's a few things that you need to know about how this actually works in the state of Wisconsin. And I guess the big question, and the question that we had to ask ourselves, is it as affordable as it actually sounds? Turns out that by the time if you have to buy a huge truck to pull a rig, right?
Yep.
And you have to buy the rig, no, it turns out that it is actually not cheaper if you're going to do it that way, especially if you're figuring in like gas and then stops along the way and all of that. Now, we had actually contemplated doing this when our kids were really, really little because of the storm chasing, right? We wanted to be able to
that makes
be
sense.
We wanted to be able to be in a central location and then be able to go out and actually help in the cleanup process and volunteer in some of those areas that get hit really hard by tornadoes. Then by the time we added it all up, figured it all out, it was not going to be cheap whatsoever, at least not the way that we intended on doing it. But a lot of people in Wisconsin are choosing full-time RV living. And the number of people living in RVs or, vehicles similar to that has grown from about 1,100 back in 2019 to nearly 2,700 just a couple of years ago. If you're doing the math this morning, that's a 137% increase. I did not do that on my own. I had to calculate it.
What? I wasn't going to. I'm not even going to check your math. I'm just going to let it happen.
All right. Now, Wisconsin does not have a statewide ban on full-time RV living. Local governments actually set their own rules on this. Milwaukee and Madison generally do not allow people to live full-time in RVs on residential property, with only limited exceptions for temporary parking. If you're outside some of the major cities or the urban areas, their rules are going to vary by community if this is something you want to do. In fact, a lot of full-time RV residents stay in campgrounds, RV parks, or a lot of other locations where long-term stays are permitted. In fact, if you get into some of the national park areas, campers can stay up to 14 days without fees or permits if they follow federal camping rules. And a lot of RV living can eliminate rent, the mortgage payments. It still comes with the cost, though, as we quickly found out, including the purchase price, all of the financing, the insurance, the maintenance, the fuel, the campground fees. Yeah. So
fuel? Fuel's cheap right now. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Drill, baby. Drill.
Simple. And if you're keeping score, new RVs can range anywhere from about $15,000 to about $380,000, depending on the size and all the features. Year-round RV sites in Wisconsin are about $190 per month, which is is much less expensive than, an apartment, which an average price for a one bedroom is about $1,100, depending on where you're at in the month. So, I mean, there are benefits to the whole thing, I guess, if you really want to go that route. We actually have friends who have a permanent spot, and they actually leave their house in the summertime and then stay at their RV all summer long, and that's where they live, and that's where their home base is in the summertime. So that's kind of a good way to do it.
I think it takes a very special kind of person. I
think so.
I think like the storm chasing thing, yes, that is one of those special categories where it kind of makes sense. But humans, for the most part, don't like change. So a constant change of scenery, I think most people wouldn't actually be comfortable with. I think it's very much a idealistic thing that you maybe daydream about. Be like, man, what if I could just
the way we were going to do it, the way we had it figured out in our heads is that because we homeschooled, we had the freedom to do so.
Right.
And we were going to actually park somewhere and probably live for 2, 3, 4 months at a time before we moved on. Because we really, when we get into communities, we really love to see what it's like to be part of that community, not just visit that community. And then you think about things like, you know, especially in certain parts of the country, year-round farmers markets and all of those really fun things. But again, by the time you do all the financing for campers and RVs, it's just not as cheap as everybody thinks.
And it becomes more, and like there's way more variables and factors. Not that home ownership is easy by any stretch of the imagination, but
there's
I feel
a lot
like
of maintenance to RVs.
yeah, there's too much that can go wrong.
And sometimes it's like daily, sometimes it's like every other day because, you know, their tanks for, you know, holding the poo and the things that happen in the shower aren't exactly
I don't want to deal
right?
with all that.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with that. Plus, it takes a very special person because, well, they're tight spaces. Nobody wants to be claustrophobic at home. Coming up, we are going to talk about political standards. Turns out that they don't really carry the same weight that they once did. When you vote, what's more important, a candidate's characters or their policy? We'll talk about that next. This is Daybreak. You're listening to the Civic Media Network.
I am going to restart my computer because
I'm going to run to the bathroom.
So
it's up to you, Parker. Entertain the masses.
Entertain.
Boy. Alrighty, folks. Well, live stream. Hello. How you be? This is the show within the show, where sometimes I get left alone because I need to be here. If you have any questions about anything at all, let me know. Drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I will narrate to myself what I'm doing, I guess. That's how we're going here, boys. Right. RV. Gotta double check. I don't know if you guys realize what I am doing during the show. I do a lot of like tracking of what's going on. Pretty much every topic, I have a document that's a quick bullets of what we talked about. For our tracking purposes, just in case for holidays, if we're ever like we did on what was that, Memorial Day, if we're not actually having a live show, what we do is we rerun some of the best segments from past couple of months or so, or usually the more recent the better, but sometimes you gotta dip a little further back, and so we use that tracking document to pull some of those segments to be able to rerun for you guys on those holidays when we're not live in studio. Instead, you're just hearing some of those best things that we've talked about, best guests that we've had, that kind of things. Other than that, we also do a bunch of podcasts here at Civic Media. Pretty much everything that you hear on air as far as shows go, you can probably hear as a podcast. The entire hour of the show, every single hour of the show gets posted on the Civic Media website. That's civicmedia.us. Go to the shows page and you can find Daybreak and you can find those podcasts. You can also find them on Spotify. That's why we always plug on Spotify. Go give it a listen. I don't know if our entire show history is on Spotify. I think it is, but I'm not certain that we've had it for the entire time. So there may be a couple first month or so maybe missing. I don't really remember. But yeah, you can always find us on Spotify as well. So that's what I'm doing during the show as well. I'm also writing up those podcast descriptions and headlines, all that stuff, and posting those right as the hour gets done. I don't know if the website necessarily takes them that quickly. It might take a little while to actually upload, but I have done my part to publish them onto the website already like that during the show. Other stuff I do for the show is more podcasts. Swiper Stay. You can listen to just the Swiper Stay segment as a podcast if you go to civicmedia.us and then head over onto the Daybreak page over on the right-hand side. There should be more podcasts there that are from kind of our specialty segments. We've got Swiper Stay, the civics lesson that we just had earlier today about, tax assessments. That will also be over there in one of those sections of podcasts. Also got Fact or Fiction every week. Dairyland Diaries every Friday. That last segment when we go to good news coming from around the state, we do that and throw those onto there as well. So yeah, that's basically a lot of tracking, a lot of posting podcasts. Jamie is laughing at me as she eats her fig bar. Bunch of stuff. If you call in, say hi. I'm the one you'll talk to. Ooh.
I missed my chair.
Uh-oh.
I'm good.
That chair provides a lot of laughs.
It does, especially when you're only 5'1". It's a big chair. It's a tall chair.
It's a tall chair, yeah. Every now and then I go to sit in it and I'm like, oh, that's kind of high.
It's tall.
That's high for me.
And depending on what shoes, sometimes they slide off the bar for me to step up on.
Yeah. So you really don't like when
No.
your shoes are wet.
I don't.
Wet shoes
Okay.
suck.
I'm going to quit eating my fig bar, though, because we have a minute.
My shoes are drenched from yesterday.
Well,
Golfing.
yes, because
Well,
we're out in the
man,
rain.
who would have saw
Yeah.
that coming? Oh, wait. Anybody who checked the forecast.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, wear those shoes tomorrow, because it might get wet at Circus World, too.
Oh, good. I'll sound like Squidward.
There you go. No, you'll have squeaky boots. Squeaky boots episode.
Squeaky boots. I forgot about that one. It's like swishy pants.
Swishy pants. What's that?
George lost his job?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Pants swoosh. A couple 10 seconds.
Across the state of Wisconsin, Daybreak with Brian and Jamie is back.
It's 8:06 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Parker, very nicely played. Little Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. I love that.
Yeah, it feels like
Man, is
Very
it time
nice.
for kickoff?
Hey, we can kick off. Yeah.
Every stadium
ready.
ever?
Oh, that's such a great song. Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses, before Axl Rose got old. That's how I
I was
going
going to say, or before he got crazy, but that was just always.
Always. I was going to say, always.
Are there 3 stages of Guns N' Roses?
Yes,
Before he got old, after he got old,
Yes.
and after he went crazy?
That's essentially what it is. Absolutely. My name is Jamie Martinson. Frank Gargano, our senior producer, joins me today sitting in for Brian Noonan. And, of course, if you're listening in Wausau on WXCO, got to do a little shout-out across the state, in La Crosse on WLCX, Hayward on WBZH, or in Wisconsin Rapids on WFHR. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Parker, the sun is coming out now. I don't know if you noticed this, but the sun is indeed trying to shine this morning in Madison.
I told you.
I'm
going to a softball game.
I was looking at the forecast, some on and off showers throughout today, possible in large portions of the state, heat, humidity over the next couple of days, and then, of course, that's going to give way to some possible severe weather tomorrow and potentially on Thursday. So please stay weather aware over the next couple of days. And if you have to be outside, I know it seems so stupid, but if you have to be outside with that humidity, even if the temperature doesn't seem super warm, it's going to feel super warm. So please, please take it easy if you are going to be outside. That is my little PSA for the morning, folks. We wanted to talk this morning about where we're at in this country, right? Like, what is more important to you? A candidate's character or their policies? Because it turns out that there's a lot of candidates right now who are running for office who have some questionable things in their backgrounds, right? And in 2026, it doesn't really seem to be a game changer for whether or not we still support these candidates, like maybe even 5 to 10 years ago that it did. Political scandal that once ended campaigns no longer guaranteed to derail a candidate's career. Political scientists actually say that voters at this stage are more likely to stick with candidates from the preferred party, even when those candidates face serious allegations or controversies. Now, it's interesting because it was actually just late last year that we had a candidate running for Wisconsin state governor, Republican Bill Berrien. He had to end his campaign, though. Parker, you obviously remember this. I'm looking at your face.
Yesterday, I was trying to remember who all the candidates were, and I was like,
yeah,
there were more Republicans. I knew there was. I couldn't remember his name because of this.
So Bill Berrien ended his 2026 campaign, just a little, take you back in time moment, because there was controversy surrounding reports of his online activity that involved explicit social media accounts. And so he just dropped out of the race. He tried to stay in for a few days after those reports came to the light, and then eventually it just became too much. And then that's actually when we saw Tom Tiffany step into the race and become the front runner for the Republican Party. There's also been a lot of legislative leaders in the state of Wisconsin who've resigned over inappropriate comments, state officials that leave their positions following misconduct or investigations. The question is, though, does that matter to us in this current climate? So again, the question this morning, what's more important to you, a candidate's character or their policies? 1-855-752-4842, 1-855-75-CIVIC. Now, there's also a lot of people who claim that this increasing political polarization, stronger partisan identities, and declining trust in traditional media is a major reason why scandals have less impact than they once did. In previous decades, scandals that involved affairs, JFK, hello, anybody? Personal misconduct, ethics violations, or controversial behavior led politicians to resign or completely abandon campaigns. I mean, should we talk about Gary Hart from like 2011 for just a few minutes? Let's you think about it. Take your pick. I mean, even during Trump's first term, Al Franken is a great example of that. When those photos that eventually we were found were not real photos, and he left office. Now you kind of wonder, should he have wrote it out? Were the Democrats at that point too persistent that he should leave his role and leave office? Would it have mattered to most voters?
At that time, though. But that's assuming that everybody plays by the same set of rules, right?
This is true.
I think that's really important to look at. I think at that point in time, it was probably the right thing to do, right? Looking back on it, yeah, with the current political climate, he probably could have stayed, probably should have stayed. But let's not pretend like a senator from Minnesota is held to the same standards as just spitballing here. Maybe somebody that resides in the White House or is the Speaker of the House. We have very different rules.
Is it the parties, though, too? Right? Because we've talked about this. The Republicans,
it's the following.
It will. The Republicans usually fall in line. If that is their candidate, it doesn't usually matter what scandals persist with that particular candidate. They will usually fall in line and still support that candidate unless it just becomes too egregious that they can't stand it anymore, right?
There's Jamie, I think another thing, sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
no, please.
I think we've talked about this a lot too when it comes to the Democratic side, is you need to have a very squeaky clean persona, right? You need a
Yes.
squeaky clean backstory, because it's I'll just say it, it's impossible to unite
Right.
the Democratic Party on everything.
Right.
Even when
Absolutely.
you may be the lesser of two evils, where the Republican side, you have to give them credit. When they all agree this is the person we're going for, they kind of view it as almost like a sporting event or a game or a contest, where it's like, this is our team and we
Right.
want to win. This is
Yeah.
who we're supporting. Where I think a lot of Democrats look at politics as the nuanced thing that it is and go, well, you know what? I don't agree with that person. And maybe it's
Right.
to a fault, where I don't agree with everything. Therefore, I'm not voting for that person, or I'm just not voting at all.
Sometimes I wonder if it's not so much that we're more tolerant of these scandals, or that the parties have completely different identities and different standards.
Yes.
I don't know if it's so much as being, just like, yes, we're okay voting for this person with the scandal, or just the Democrats saying, no, you need to be the better person here. We don't want these tied to the Democratic Party. We're going to have this person step down. So sometimes I wonder if it's more of a party thing than an actual candidate thing, and our tolerance level is maybe different. But candidates today are more likely to deny allegations, frame controversies as political attacks, and also continue campaigning rather than step aside. And we're actually seeing this play out right now in the state of Maryland with Graham Plantner,
Yep.
right? He has been embroiled in scandals involving women. He has been embroiled in scandals involving tattoos when he first came onto the political scene. He has one that is a swastika that was eventually covered. He's had to explain that numerous times. Yet he still stays in the race. And even with the latest scandals involving women, he has made it clear he is not stepping down. He is not leaving the race. He is going to let the voters decide. And, that is a very, and let's be clear, he is not an establishment. We'll put that in air quotes, a Democrat. The Democrats actually put up an establishment candidate to run against him in Maryland. That establishment candidate lost, and Plantner is now your candidate in the state of Maryland. So I wonder, though, if taking the playbook of more Republicans and saying, I'm going to just stay in this, even with all of this swirling around me. I mean, it worked for President Trump, right? He got elected just a week or two after the Entertainment Tonight video back in 2016. That didn't seem to derail his campaign at all. And if you think about even 10 years prior to that, if that tape would have come out that close to an election, Hillary Clinton would have won in a landslide, right? I mean,
but what changed, I guess? Is it the fear mongering of it's if you're looking at it from a Republican side, what is the Democratic utopia look like? Socialism, communism, and we're going to vote for our guy or girl.
Yeah.
To combat that and anti-trans rhetoric.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of social aspects that come into that decision where they do ignore what the real issues are in terms of scandal, because scandal doesn't really exist right now, especially when it comes to a presidential race.
And I want to point out and correct myself. Tony, thank you so much in our chat. It is Maine. Thank you very much. I had that written down, and then my brain went somewhere else. But a lot of today's candidates really are following this denial of the allegations. And analysts say that the modern media environment is also playing a bit of a role.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, social media plays a role into that. There's partisan news sources. There's constant information flows. Scandals a lot of times are compete with dozens of other stories for our attention. And you got to wonder at some point in time if it just gets lost, or if we start going, well, is that really real? Because you don't know if everything that you see online is real. And you have to wonder if that sometimes plays into it, into the mindset of the voter, right? Do we question the authenticity because what we see is not actually real all the time? And I don't know if that's what makes up the mind of voters. But if you're interested in chiming into this conversation this morning, we'd love to hear from you. Do you think a candidate's character is more important or their policies? 1-855-752-4842, 1-855-75-CIVIC. We've got Jeannie on the phone this morning. She's calling in from Eau Claire. Jean, how are you this morning? And what do you got for us?
Well, thank you so much for covering this subject. Definitely policy matters to me because what we have in the Oval Office right now, I'll tell you something, nothing compares. And that guy's doing it in our face. So I really believe that we need some very strong people fighting back and also their background. Like Tiffany, we need to look at his background and what he did in the past and what he's done all along and all the people that have an R after their name. And I've been an independent my entire life, but I've been watching for years live what these people have been doing to our state and to our country. So definitely policy, but character too, and not lies. So thank you very much, and you have a great day.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very
Thanks,
much for the call.
Jean.
We appreciate it. Of course, you got to wonder too if the current president is part of this shift, right? He survived so many controversies. He has said things in the past that would have taken any other candidate out of office. He has actually used it to his advantage, right? In a lot of ways to basically endear himself not only to the voting base, but also to new voters, because he isn't the typical politician. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you agree with his policies, he has endeared himself to a certain subsect of voters that a lot of politicians haven't been able to over the years. It's fascinating. We'll continue to have this conversation on the stream. But the debate over a proposed data center in Wisconsin Rapids is growing. Community groups are organizing. We're going to talk about that next and find out what's happening in Wisconsin Rapids on the Civic Media Network.
All right. Looks like we've got Melissa. There we go.
Hello.
Melissa. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, Melissa.
I'm
Good
good.
morning.
Good morning, Melissa.
Hi.
How are
Nice
you?
to meet you, Frank.
Nice
I'm
to
good.
meet you.
Good to see you, Jamie.
We are glad that you're here.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for coming
joining
on.
us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's see. Where are we? We've got a couple minutes here, and we will talk about data centers in Wisconsin and community organization. I love it.
Hottest topic in town.
It is.
It is.
So you
It's
guys
got
had
a lot of people fired up.
Oh, yeah.
You had an exciting last few days up there. I saw like the truck that drove through the. Was that like a gas station?
Yeah, it was a BP gas station, actually,
Wow.
directly across from 1716, the bar in this article.
Was it like I didn't get to see the full scope, but
it
what
was
happened?
a woman that must have had a medical emergency. She was
Okay.
having chest pains and hit the gas instead of the
Oh,
brake,
no.
and
Is she okay?
right through the store. I haven't heard anything about
Okay.
her, but the owner's okay. He got hit
That's
probably
good.
by the counter that she slammed
Oh,
into.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Scary. Yeah, it looked really bad. I saw the video and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's always scary.
very much so.
And in a smaller town, that gets everybody.
Well, and the
It's a
worst
big
part is
story.
that the owner's little girl always opens the door and greets customers, and people were like,
Oh, no.
is the little girl okay?
Was she okay?
She wasn't there that day.
Okay, good.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's good.
just another layer.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Is it as hot, humid, and rainy in Wisconsin Rapids?
It is humid, for sure. It's going to get icky today.
Ugh, gross. Gross, gross.
Hmm. But good for the growing season.
Right?
True.
Yeah, we needed the moisture.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my tabs. There they are.
How many thousands do you have open right now?
I actually have I have a back screen of like my personal stuff. So there's at least 15 open there, and then I have a split screen, and one has like 6 and one has 4.
Yeah, a couple seconds to our back.
It's not that bad.
Local voices, statewide impact. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
It's 8:22 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We always appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a great start to your day. You're listening to the Civic Media Network. I am Jamie Martinson. Brian Noonan is not here today, but our senior producer, Frank Gargano, stepping in as co-host. How's it going? Are you enjoying your time as host?
You know what? It's so different just constantly being on. I check myself in the camera like when I'm taking sips of coffee and be like, oh right, maybe don't eat while you're on camera.
Oh no,
or
I
take
eat all the
sips of
time when I'm on
coffee.
camera. Our poor, we'd probably do much better on a stream if I wasn't always eating or moving around, but it's fine. But we have a guest joining us today because we've got to have a conversation about data centers. There is a proposed center that's become one of the most talked about issues in Wisconsin Rapids. Community groups have formed, hundreds of residents have attended informational meetings, and city leaders have slowed the approval process so they can gather more information and public input. To help us understand where things currently stand, what's known about the project, and what questions residents are still asking, we are joined by Melissa Kay. She is the news director for WFHR and WIRI in Wisconsin Rapids. Now, Melissa, you've been closely following this story from the beginning, so we are super glad that you are here this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jamie and Frank. Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right into this because for listeners who haven't been following this closely, bring us up to speed. Why has this particular proposed data center generated so much attention in Wisconsin Rapids?
Well, part of it has to do with the location. As many know, Wisconsin Rapids is a former paper mill city. This city grew because of the paper mill that was here that was shut down quite a few years ago. And then that site has just sat empty. But it's unique because it's right next to the river. They've done clearing of the space, so now there's acreage available for manufacturing opportunities, but it's zoned manufacturing industrial. So it can't have housing, it can't have, there's certain things that can't be built there. And data center companies have been looking at that site. In 2024, there was a data center company that was looking, not exactly that site, but near that area. And it was very quiet. They came in with a contract, let the city know, hey, these two private entities are doing this thing. But then a year later, they also let them know by press release that, hey, yep, we're not doing the thing. But people were okay with it then because they didn't really know what was happening. Now, the city council realized that, hey, if we don't put an ordinance in place to have some protection against, have some involvement in this, we won't be able to. It'll be just like before with a agreement between two private entities, and we're not involved. So that's kind of where things kicked off here with getting the public involved. Because they were like, whoa, what are you doing? Creating ordinances for data centers. It's like, well, there's more to it than that. It's for protection purposes. So now there's a company interested, people are getting informed and involved and being activists in their community. They're like, hey, we're not sure if we want this. Let's talk about it. Let's slow it down. Let's look at all of the different things. Look at what's happening across the nation and in other parts of Wisconsin with data centers.
So let's go to the Southwood County Neighbors for Responsible Development. This is a group that has formed just a few weeks ago. Am I correct on that?
In April.
Okay.
So,
and they seem to be drawing large crowds. And how did they come into this mix, and what is their role in what's happening with the data center in Wisconsin Rapids?
well, there was a public hearing announced for the conditional use permit that this company had submitted to the city. And the Southwood County Neighbors for Responsible Development, to my understanding, they're just a group of people in the area, business owners. They're like, hey, whoa, let's have an informational session. So they invited people from the IT world, Farmers Union, and even Charlie Barron's came to town. They had an informational session at the middle school here. It had about over 400 people attended, including the mayor and alderpersons. They were there to gather information too. And so that is really what kicked off the Southwood County Neighbors for Responsible Development group. And they've been working ever since to educate.
Sure. Melissa Kay, news director for WFHR and WIRI in Wisconsin Rapids, joins us this morning. So is the opposition to the data center in Wisconsin Rapids focused on the idea of the data center itself, or are residents more concerned about the location and some of those impacts to things like the environment, obviously their own utility bills? What seems to be their argument right now?
That seems to be the big one. People are worried about energy bills, their electricity, and our water. Our waterways here, yes, the mill did do some pollution, obviously, in eras gone by. But they're worried now because a lot of cleanup has been done. The riverway is much better than it was, and they don't want to see it degraded again.
Absolutely. So,
Melissa, real quick, hold on,
Yeah.
Jamie. I feel like we always see the negative side of data centers, and we see a lot about the opposition to it. Are there groups right now in the community that maybe support the data centers for any reason? Are there any benefits to this?
Well, honestly, from what I've heard, the biggest benefit would be building out our electric infrastructure. So the infrastructure would be improved over time because they want to start with one 50 megawatt building and they want to expand to 150 megawatts of power that will be needed to be able to accommodate that amount of power. They have to build out the infrastructure that would involve, the different utility companies. And I think that the city council, or at least what they have said to me, is that this is an opportunity. They need to figure out the way to do it the best that's going to protect the consumers while building out our infrastructure, and then also make sure utility bills don't go up. But it could be a benefit if the consumers can be protected.
Thank you so much for joining us. Melissa Kay, news director for WFHR and WIRI in the Wisconsin Rapids area. We will continue to follow this story out of Wisconsin Rapids. Melissa, thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it. Coming up, summer camps and youth programs in high demand across Wisconsin. A lot of families are running into long wait lists and rising costs. We'll explain why that matters next here on Daybreak. You're listening to the Civic Media Network. Awesome.
Right,
Thanks, Melissa.
You.
That was
Appreciate your time.
great.
Yeah, thank you for asking the counter question, Frank. I appreciate that.
Of course. Sorry to cut you off there, Jamie.
No, God.
I was like,
please
that's
do.
my one question. I feel like we never get to hear about.
We don't.
No, we don't.
We don't talk
And
about
that's
like
the unknown.
positives.
Yeah. And Parker, thank you for the cranberries.
Oh, of course.
He was like, I don't remember sending those.
It took a second.
All right. Good to see you all.
All right,
Have a
good
good
seeing you,
day.
Melissa. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
No, I'm glad you jumped in. Thank you. Because that's a great question.
Everybody on the stream, we're going to be talking about data centers for
Ever.
forever.
They are not going away. And that's the bad part. They're not just a Wisconsin thing either.
No,
it's like
this
a
is
nationwide thing.
But I'm so happy that we're able to look at this from the community standpoint, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry, stream. I'm eating a fig bar.
It's the last thing Jamie's going to eat until probably 8 p.m. tonight.
That's true.
You've obviously been at a lot of meetings with me where I'm like, I gotta go because I have not eaten yet today. It'll be like 4:00.
We'll have a 2.5-hour meeting. Jamie will be like, well, I'm going to go eat lunch. It's like, Jamie, it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
What do you
About 3
mean?
o'clock that you said that to me yesterday, I think.
Yeah. That's pretty typical.
Mr. Plow King says, and now they want to put data centers in space. So dumb.
Hey, you put a B on dumb. Nice job.
Dumb.
Mr. Clausen.
Did you know that there's
Okay.
not many people know that there's a B in dumb? Dumb.
That's hilarious.
He
Oh, this is
says-
a long break. I can eat my whole thing.
You can go for it. Oh wait, it's spelled dumb. D-U-M now. Aren't dum-dum suckers D-U-M D-U-M?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
God, I love
And
Dum
they're
Dum Suckers.
good.
Oh, they're the best.
We still have some at the house.
You know what the worst is, though? The mixed flavors, the mystery flavors, where you don't know what you're going to get, and it's like several flavors mixed in one. It's weird.
Right.
It's like
I was
those
going to say,
weird
and it's
jelly
like
beans.
clear.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the jelly bean challenge?
Jelly bean challenge.
Oh,
With the mystery ones?
Oh, that sounds like a bad idea.
Where it's like the Birdie Bots, every flavor beans kind of deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Like, I don't love jelly beans
Earwax.
anyway, but
Alas. Dude, if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, and this is why you should download TikTok, Parker.
I have it. I just use it like once a month.
I went down a rabbit hole where I got Richard Harris, the original Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Him talking about stories of being in theater with Peter O'Toole, another famous Hollywood Golden Age actor, and like their drunken escapades are hysterical. I can't remember what play they were doing where they had like a 15-minute break where they weren't on stage, and they'd run across to the pub across the street for one pint and then run back into the theater to do their play. And I guess time got away from them one time, and the stage director popped up and goes, "Harris, O'Toole, you're on. Like you are on." And the whole play was at a standstill, and Harris sprints onto the stage and trips and falls into the first row of the section. And it was some old lady and goes, "Good God, Harris is drunk." And he said, "Madam, you should see O'Toole right now." His late night stories are so good. Highly recommend for anybody out there.
That's awesome.
They
Never
do.
heard that.
He's better at telling stories than I am for his stories. Dude, I can't believe this show's almost over. It's already 8:34.
it's gone really fast today.
Really fast.
Keep it snappy here.
Keep it snappy.
Like, really fast this morning.
Ready?
Some days do go really fast, and then other days I'm like, oh my gosh.
Like, oh my God, it's 6:50.
Isn't it 8:30 already?
It's
Right.
It's usually like 7:30 that I'm like, we're not at the last block yet. 10 seconds till we're back.
Wisconsin wakes up here. Back to Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Civic Media Network. It is 8:35 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson. Brian Noonan is out today, but I am joined by our fabulous senior producer, Frank Gargano. How do you feel on the other side of the chair today? Like, this is a serious question because I've been in your seat, right? Like, I've been the producer, and so it's very weird when you have to, like, join the show, and all of a sudden you're there.
I've noticed, like, I don't get to, because I do many things during the show
Yes.
when I'm not.
Yes.
I'm looking at emails, I'm looking at stories, people to book, all that stuff, and I get a lot done during the show. Well, because I kind of get to just be a consumer.
Right.
Because that's the best way to judge a show is from a listener's standpoint,
And
not
if you're
from a producer's
entertained, then that
standpoint.
probably means that hopefully our listeners are entertained, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So, like,
yes.
it's so weird that I'm dialed in and then I look down and we were just saying during break, like, oh my God, it's 8:35. I can't believe it.
It's gone really, really fast. That's a little inside for all of you non-radio folks who just enjoy the show and listen on a daily basis.
It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning
good.
a lot.
Thank you for stepping in today.
Of course.
Now, if you're the type of person who ended up as a kid going to summer camp, hopefully you have some really fond experiences that you've taken with you for, maybe a lifetime. Sometimes it was day camp. Sometimes it was a sports camp. It might have even been scout camp or just a summer program that was your local school. Those activities, though, gave kids a chance to learn, make friends, and stay active while school was out. Today, a lot of Wisconsin families are discovering that those opportunities are becoming really difficult to find. In fact, a new study shows that demand for summer programs is growing, but a lot of parents are also running into high costs, long wait lists, and limited availability. And a lot of families are now struggling to access these resources for their kids during the summer. According to this study, about 1 in every 2 kids whose parents want them enrolled in a summer learning or enrichment program cannot get access to one in their local communities. Now, let me ask you, were you a camp kid? Did you have to go to any camp or any of the enrichment activities?
You lost me at the word camp. Let me tell you something. I'm very much a city boy. I like sitting inside in air conditioning, doing city boy things. I like video games. I love going outside. I loved going outside and playing baseball with the other neighborhood kids, football, whatever. As far as camping goes, I'm not an outdoorsman by any stretch of the imagination. Hikes, no. Camping, no. It's just not me.
You didn't do like football camp or anything?
Yeah, I did football camp, and it's miserable. Football camp's the worst.
That doesn't sound fun.
I don't think there's anything worse. Like now you've got me on. Now you've got me going. Let me tell you something. There are many things I wish I could turn back the clock on to go do. Playing football games in high school, I'd love to play another game.
Sure.
Put the pads on. But if that meant going back to football camp, I wouldn't do it. It would be a no every single time because those were the worst days in the world.
Sports camps aren't generally meant to be fun, right? Like they're generally not. Parker, camp for you? You're not done? Okay, go.
No, all the basketball players got to have fun. They'd shoot around in the summer. Oh, yeah, we did camp for a week. We did shoot-arounds and we did some drills. It was a lot of fun. The baseball players where it's like, this is our off season. We get to enjoy.
They just wrapped up their season like a month before that.
We get to enjoy our summer and people are sleeping in. They're like, what are you doing? What do you mean? I have to wake up at 5:30 tomorrow morning to go lift and then we have to go run and then I've got to go put on my pads in 100-degree summer weather and hit the guy in front of me for 3 hours straight, and we're still going to lose most every game this coming fall. That is what my summer looks like.
What attitude is that? My God.
That was I am realistic, if anything, Jamie, and that was the reality. But no, I'm not a camp person. But for anybody that is, I think that's great for you. I think you should have summer camps that are fun, that you enjoy doing, but it's kind of interesting to see that summer camps are turning into more of a luxury than anything.
They are. They are, because it used to be a staple, right? Like it was one of those things you sent your kids to, even your local school where there was enrichment, daily activities, right? That was the thing. I did several camps as I got older that were more tailored to the things I was interested in. Now, I don't know if it would surprise the two of you to know, but I spent a glorious week at South Dakota State University at journalism camp.
Wow.
I've been a counselor for a journalism camp.
See?
What?
You were about to make fun of me. I could feel it. And Parker one-upped me on that one. I was just an attendee.
Well, now I'm going to make fun of both of you.
Hey, who wins this one? We weren't hitting big guys across from us lifting weights at 5:30.
Well,
we were sitting in an air-conditioned room.
I was going to say, were you in high school?
Yes, high school.
You were a narc, Parker. You were a counselor.
Yeah.
Yes, I went to debate camp as well. I don't know if that would surprise the two of you either.
Oh, my God. And then you one-up Parker again. And Jamie takes the crown back for nerdiest comment of the day. Hold on, Parker.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
You,
Parker, going back to being a counselor at journalism camp, did any of the kids raise their hand and go, do you have a job in journalism? And you're like, don't worry about that. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
I worked at the student paper, and it was the college that ran the camp.
Sure.
So, yeah.
It was a great experience because at South Dakota State, we not only met the professors from South Dakota State, but then they brought in nationally known a couple of nationally known journalists to do workshops with us. So it was really an awesome experience. Then we also the next year got access to our politicians who were serving in local government on the state level. So that was also really, really cool to be able to go spend a day with them, intern, and then get access to newsrooms across the state through that particular camp.
Look at how excited you're getting just
I know
thinking about
it was so exciting. But when it comes to camps right now in Wisconsin, families are saying that cost is the biggest obstacle for kids to have some of these same experiences, right? Along with transportation challenges and a lack of openings in their communities. 177,000 Wisconsin families say that they cannot find a summer program that's even affordable, close to home, or accessible for their kids. Now, summer camps and youth programs across the state fill up really quickly, and a lot of organizations are reporting lengthy wait lists. Wisconsin Youth Company increased enrollment by about 300 children this summer compared to last year, but still has another 300 children waiting for a spot. And obviously, when school lets out, there's a whole new challenge for parents, too, because there's no longer that year-round place for your kids to go.
Right.
And if they're school-aged, then you really have to figure out where your kids are going to go. And for some parents, there's also that the year-round daycare also ends when the school year ends.
Mm-hmm.
So parents really do become in a pinch because parents can't just take off work because their kids don't have anywhere to go. And if we're talking about these types of wait lists, and I would be interested to know, why are there so many wait lists? Is it just because of the need or because it's harder to find people to work in these programs all summer long? Or why are we seeing such wait lists? I guess would be my next question for some of these programs, because it seems like for anybody maybe going into teaching, and maybe the pay isn't that great, right? If you're going to be a teacher, maybe you need something that pays a little bit more than what some of these programs can. They don't offer any reasons as to why the wait lists exist right now.
Look at camp culture. How much has that declined? Because it isn't, we're in the digital age now where camp culture isn't really a thing. I feel like I don't really see it, and I don't know many people that send their kids to summer camp.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you watch a movie from like the 80s and 90s,
kids went to summer camp all the time.
That's more of a thing.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So I'm sure there's less and less of them out there because how it can't be, if you're looking at it from a capitalism standpoint, how successful of a business model is running a summer camp, and how much time and effort goes into that.
I can't imagine that kids, even if it's a day camp type thing, really want to go and be away from the things that they know on a daily basis. You would have to try. I know a lot of middle schoolers, and you have to try really hard to pull them away from the devices and the things.
Yep.
According to this particular survey, an average 7th grader is spending about 9.5 hours a day tethered to a screen. 9.5.
That sounds about right.
But you look at what we do on a daily basis as adults for our jobs. It's not just always being on a screen because you're playing a game or you're watching something on social media. Our entire lives revolve around a screen or doing something on a screen, whether it's our phone or whether it's looking something up, whether it's for us editing audio, editing video, or any of that. We're always tethered to a screen. So it's interesting that kids are already at 7th grade falling into that same trap. And I think, too, when you talk about these camps, even if it's a sleepaway camp, if it's a day camp, there is opportunity to pull away from some of those things. Mm-hmm. How many kids, though, are interested in doing that? I feel like that would be the hardest task running one of those, is trying to get the kids to, put those devices down, to go and do those enrichment creative activities.
If they're allowed to even have them at the camp.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which I don't think you should be if the whole goal is to disconnect. If I was a kid and my mom was like, hey, you're going to camp, I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm keeping my phone. I'm keeping my tablet. I'm still connecting with my friends. I'd rather do that. I don't want to go to camp, but that's just me. And I'm sure a lot of kids feel the same way because you have a supercomputer in the palm of your hands, especially if you have a phone.
Right.
Middle-aged school kids.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to want to do that much more than go play a game, right? They just are. There's a lot of program leaders who say that these summer camps, again, whether it's a day camp, something specific to a sport, whether it's a sleepaway camp, they actually help reduce some of that isolationism that kids face and provide an alternative to spending hours on their phones, their tablets, their computers, and on those video games.
It's absolutely the right thing to do.
It is.
I would, if let's say I had a kid and I could afford to do this, I would love to do that just because we are in such a digital age and Gen Z. So like you grow up with the technology. There was a period in time where I didn't have this thing. I had, a flip phone and I couldn't do everything. So I think nowadays with social media and everything, I think having that time, they would look back on their childhood and be like, wow, I'm so glad I was able to do that because now as an adult, I can't get away from the screen because this is my job.
And I find Gen Z very, very fascinating because Gen Zers are the first generation that really had everything at their disposal, right? I mean, Parker, you're 23. That you don't remember a world without Google. You don't remember a world without smartphones. Obviously, they've progressed over the years.
Yeah.
But you don't remember a world without tablets or laptops, right? Like, there's just not a time when
we had an iPad for most of my memory. We've had at least an iPad in the house.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and my kids are exactly the same, right? Because it was just the generation they grew up on. And I think that some of that interaction is so good for kids. And I'll honestly say, yes, I'm as old as dirt at this point. And I remember, I remember going to journalism camp and debate camp. But I also remember the people that I met there and the experiences and the things that I learned at those camps. And yes, they were very specific to my tastes and the things that I liked, but that's the point of some of these camps, that they should be tailored to what our kids like and give them a new experience. And the fact that our families can't even afford it or have access to this feels like a rite of passage for a lot of kids, right? In some way. And it's another one of those things that I feel like is getting taken away. Coming up, wrestlers body slamming opponents between bookshelves and then stopping to read a children's story. This is real. It's called Lucha Libro. Kids are loving it. We're going to talk about that next. It's the Civic Media Network.
Was that Motley Crue?
No, that was Jonathan Tyler and the Northern Lights.
Okay. Interesting. My mom texted me.
To wish you happy birthday?
She wished me a happy birthday, and she must be watching the stream. She said,
you
you were
ask what you
lucky
do?"
that I was home over the summer. Some kids don't have a choice. Very good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will give her that. I still would have fought you tooth and nail if you tried sending me to summer camp, which would have been a bold decision on your part, because you both know I hate the outdoors. I don't hate it. There's some things I'd rather be doing.
I didn't do any of my camps were never outdoors. They were all always indoors.
Well, yeah, you went to debate camp and journalism camp, you
did.
nerds.
I did. I did,
Thank
in
you.
fact. Journalism camp was the best.
Wow.
Debate camp was hard.
Yeah.
That was it was a 2-week camp.
That had to have been competitive.
It was a 2-week camp, and that's essentially like our last week was like our last 4 days was like a tournament to see all the things that we had put into place if it actually like made us better. It was it was super, because you were dealing with some of the best debaters in the state. And I was young. I was only a freshman because at the school I went to, we could start the program when we were really young. We could start in like 8th grade. So I was like the youngest one there. It was hard. I learned a lot, but it was hard. It's why then I was a nationally ranked debater the next year.
Oh, brother. Here we go. This guy stinks. My mom followed up with, you hated being crafty even more, which is even more accurate. Don't ask me to do a project.
What's your mom's name?
Kim.
Good morning, Kim. My boys were like super against crafts.
I remember 8th grade, we had to like make some diorama thing. And I went up to the teacher. I said, let me write a paper. Please. I begged. I said, please let me write a paper. And she wouldn't let me do it.
Oh.
And then she told me my project sucked. And I said, look, I told you this was not going to end well.
Oh, that sucks.
My mom says good morning.
I liked doing crafts because it was something different. And it became, I was an only child, right? So it like became a full family function when I had like a big project like that to do for
You're
school.
also a perfectionist.
I am very much a perfectionist. So it became a full, and so were my parents though. So it became like a full family.
Oh, God. All right. We got about 10 seconds.
Mine was, hey, Mom, I have a project due tomorrow. I need a whiteboard.
Fairly solid and better than expected. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
It's 8:52 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You are listening to the Civic Media Network. Brian Newton is off today. Frank Gargano, our senior producer, joins me as co-host. Oh, that was great. Thank you, Parker. You're on par today.
I can't
with the
see
music.
you, Parker. I can't see you.
Can't see you. What better way to start a wrestling segment? Come on.
The only
that
way.
was fantastic. So let me ask you guys, what happens when you combine a library, story time, and professional wrestling all in one?
A lawsuit?
Any ideas?
A paper cut?
It's
An
actually,
in-school suspension?
Yeah.
what it actually is a new program called Lucha Libro, and it is doing exactly that, bringing wrestling rings and children's books together so that kids get excited about reading. And obviously, very unusual, but families are loving this new program. This program combines live wrestling matches, story time, and audience participation, creating an experience that is like part library event and part wrestling event, all at the same time. In fact, you'll love this. Wrestlers perform in a full-sized ring set up among library bookshelves, complete with entrance music, costumes, and theatrical storylines. Between wrestling matches, performers then read children's books aloud and interact with the very young audience members. One fan favorite goes by the stage name of Llama Jack. He reads from the popular Llama Llama book series before he jumps back into the wrestling ring. Now, this program is designed to reach kids who might not be drawn to traditional reading programs. I love this, and shows that books and learning can be fun. Now, what I appreciate about this the most is it obviously is very unorthodox. I had a very reluctant reader. My Dexter, in fact, my husband did not think Dexter could read until he was about 6 years old.
Wow.
While in fact, Dexter had been reading for almost 3 years. Dexter was very self-conscious because if he couldn't say his R's really well when he was very little. And so if he mispronounced something or if he got a word wrong, he was very self-conscious.
I get it.
So my mom and my husband did not thought there was something seriously wrong with him, that he could not read. In fact, he read to his brother and me all the time. And we heard all of the Llama Llama books, and we heard all of the Pigeon books, the Pigeon series, if you remember those.
I remember that,
so good.
I remember seeing it.
Pigeons are great. So we would read all of those. And then when he was about 6, he finally ventured out to one day in his squeaky little tiny voice read aloud to his dad. And he was like, "See, Dad, I can read." So I understand reluctant readers, and I think that if there is a program that helps them, it's why libraries also bring in, reading dogs, because it calms a kiddo's mind, helps them concentrate. There's a confidence level that they don't normally have. So, whether it's reading dogs, whether it's something else, or it's, people wrestling in a ring, getting kids excited about reading, I think that's awesome. I think
it's
cool.
awesome. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Do you think this is going to have the opposite effect where it's like, I'm picturing a crowd of kids watching this go down. Aren't little kids more
so they
amped
go to body
up?
slam?
Yeah, I don't want to read now. I want to go body slam somebody. Me and this other kid, me and Tyler are going to go wrestle now. I'm not reading the book.
What I love about this is I was watching some of the videos from some of these events, and I was looking at some of the photos. I mean, these characters, we'll say, go full out into this, but then they get done, and they get done in the ring, and they literally pull up like a stool or a chair, and they're like, all right, let's read. I mean, it is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So you go from having these kids totally amped up, cheering and excited, then to like this moment where they're like, oh, now my favorite wrestler who just put a guy through the ring is now going to read a book to me. It's actually hilarious.
Llama Jack just threw some other dude into a table. Now it's time to go read a paragraph or two.
I don't know if it's like WWE style, but I think they keep it in the ring. But at any rate, organizers say that the goal of this is to improve literacy, but also to help libraries attract new visitors and create positive experiences for families. And as you can imagine, the attendance at libraries in the modern age of 2026, with everything at our fingertips, in the fact that we can read on devices a little lower than it used to be. The concept was created just a couple of years ago because organizers were invited to put on a wrestling-themed event at a local library, and since that time, this idea just started to expand. More than 40 library events are planned across California, because right now it's only in California. More than 40 library events are planned just this year. They are starting to expand to states outside of California. The events draw large crowds, usually kids, parents, maybe even wrestling fans, all at the same time. Imagine, though, if you're a wrestling fan and all of a sudden you show up at your local library thinking there's going to be a free event, and then you learn that they're going to read the Llama Llama book series to you in between. That's got to be a little disappointing.
How many? No, I'm not going to ask this question.
I feel like you should, maybe.
It's going to... I'm genuinely asking. This is out of curiosity.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
How many WWE fans are walking into the local library just on a ho-hum Tuesday?
Well, you never know.
And I am somebody that does not walk into a local library ever, so I'm going to put that out there and qualify it with that. But it could happen. I see where you're coming from. Look, whatever, with literacy being what it is in this country and getting kids to read, whatever helps, whatever gets them excited to maybe dive into a book, improve their reading skills. I think it's great.
I always love when there's an unorthodox way of doing things that we never thought about, and then people get excited about it. I think that's always the beauty of programs like this, because whoever thought about pairing wrestling with reading? Nobody.
Whoever thought about pairing Broadway and acrobatics with baseball? Am I right?
Oh, God.
Oh, man, it always comes back to the bananas, Parker.
It does. Always.
Rent free in your head.
Always back
Truly.
to bananas. Well, we made it. We made it. A show without Brian. We did it. Thank you so much for listening today. You are listening to the Civic Media Network. Stephanie Miller coming up next. And don't forget, another chance for you to qualify in our multi-state text-to-win contest, also at 9 o'clock. Thanks for listening to Daybreak.
All right, live stream. We will see you later.